All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026. the course for the Sands Cup, one of the most delightful of the races in our competition, where we've got 8 young superstars from Macau who are hoping to begin their motor racing journey in a fantastic way here on the Coloane karting circuit. It is a fabulous battle for them, all in equal Tillotson T4 mini karts, as brought to you by the Sands Hotel. And it's wonderful to have all 8 of these youngsters in position. Clary Low, Lei Pak Lam, Yao Ho On Ki, Dallas Ho, Milton Lau, Tam John Wang and Chiang Jinglong. Great to see all of these youngsters getting into international competition on the karting circuit here at Macau for the very first time, in amongst all of the superstar competitors in Mini, Junior, Senior and Master X30. Their battle will continue after the Sands Cup. But of course, this is the first taste of professional motorsport for all of our youngsters in the Sands Cup final. Here we go.
中国澳门的路环小型赛车场，那么我们稍后呢将会进行到的是一项特别赛事，也就是我们本周末2025澳门国际格兰披治小型赛车大赛的主赞助商金沙中国来特别呈现的金沙杯的赛事。那么这项比赛呢将会由年龄层从7岁到11岁的小选手们将会驾驶到的是搭载 T4 引擎，也就是我们在内地通常说的超级4冲引擎的这些小型的卡丁车来参与到接下来我们5圈的角逐当中。那么这项赛事呢，在这个周末呢，将会有8位选手，8位我们的小选手呢，将会参与到比赛的争夺当中。那么这8位小选手呢，都是通过我们中国澳门汽车总会所选拔出来的卡丁车赛事的小选手。那么他们将会在这个周末2025澳门国际格兰披治小型赛车大赛及2025IAME亚洲总决赛的比赛期间来进行这项比赛的角逐。
Our contenders here in the Sands Cup are getting themselves a very first taste of international competition. They've all been coached by professional drivers here in the karting world of Macau, and it's great to give them the chance to race 5 laps of the karting Coloane circuit, a chance for them to get their first proper taste of professional motorsport competition. Good to see them all preparing for a run out on the circuit. Now they will take to their karts for the first time. Last year's race was a very exciting one in coupling with the Sands Cup and the Coca-Cola Cup last year. The Sands Cup returns for 2025 after a very strong run last year. There is the number 82, that is young Dallas Ho, who'll be starting off from the front row of the grid. Alongside, it's going to be the 99, Chiang Jinglong, who will take on the front end of the starting grid. Good performances from both of these competitors as they will get themselves ready for an exciting charge forward. There is the 22, that is Ho On Ki, looking forward to a very exciting charge forward. Paxton Ho, as he is also known, getting ready for a very exciting charge from the front end of the grid. There is the 88, Tam Chun Wang. He's going to be there on the second row of the grid as well. Number 84, Milton Lau, looking forward for an exciting battle from the middle of the pack. Joining on the third row of the grid with Lei Pak Lam. And then that final duo on the grid, Clary Lau, hoping for another decent run. Clary Lau there on the grid in kart number 1, lining up on the grid alongside our young driver with the Lando Norris-inspired helmet, Ho On Yao, Lucas Ho, ready for the final hurrah. Good to see all 8 of our drivers ready to go for the Sands Cup 2025.
那么我们接下来进行的金沙杯的赛事呢，将会有8位的小选手来共同参与到争夺。那么从头排发车的车手将会是99号车手郑振龙，在他身旁的将会是82号选手何颖亨，而在第2排我们看到的是88号车手谭俊宏以及22号车手何安琪。那么这4位选手呢，将会从前2排来进行起跑。那么包括像1号选手罗琳、6号车手李柏林、11号车手何安佑以及82号车手何颖亨，那么都将会共同来参与到接下来5圈的比赛角逐。他们在昨天的下午呢，是已经率先驶上赛道，在这个路环小型赛车场上进行了他们的第1次练习。那么刚才呢，他们也是率先完成了热身圈。那么接下来，在我们的所有选手驶上赛道之后呢，他们将会进行1圈的编队圈。那么接下来，我们将会投入到5圈的金沙杯的正式比赛的角逐。
5 laps of the course will be their race battle. Going to be an exciting challenge for each of these contenders to race on this fabulous circuit. 5 laps, 1,203 meter circuit this, so they're obviously going to have a very tough mission in front of them. A total of 6,000 meters of race distance. And of course, with the green flag having already thrown, they will take on 5 laps of this course and do a fantastic job around our Macau karting circuit course. Good to see everybody in good position as they will go to battle. But certainly from that front row of the starting grid, to see the likes of Dallas Ho and Chang Chinlong from the front row, they'll obviously have to work very hard on their way through the first lap. Good to see all of these very exciting young contenders making their debuts. Everybody's got to slow down the pace off the turn, and then they will obviously transfer into their 2 tram lines, and then we will go racing for 5 laps of the Sands Cup 2025. Off we go, and it's a good start from the front of the grid for Chang Chinlong, who goes through into turn 1. No problems at all as the drivers work their way through turn 1 in these identical Tillotson T4 mini karts. They work through, a bit of a slide into turn 1, and the leader's gone around. Oh, big problems, unfortunately, as the leader has slid out, the 99 Chang Chinlong, with a little bit of a tag there from Tam Chon Wang. But out in front, it is now Lei Pak Lam who leads the race on the opening lap.
比赛开始的第一圈，我们看到在2号弯的地方是有2位小选手是发生了碰撞，是99号选手郑正龙以及88号车手，应该是谭俊宏的赛车呢，两台赛车是发生了碰撞。这一个情况呢，也是让后方的选手应该是能够提升了名次。我们现在第一圈呢，也是进入到了赛段的中段。我们现在看到的是6号选手，应该是李柏林，目前是处在全场领先的一个位置。
Don't forget, it's not just about speed, it's also about control and discipline in the Sands Cup. Here comes the charge forward from Ho On Yao, and it's a lovely overtaking move. Ho On Yao getting up into the lead of the race there. Lovely move from the back of the grid to the front. Excellent work. And now the battle continues, as now we're getting a nice little tussle here for 3rd position between Ho On Ki and Milton Lau. So Milton Lau is desperately trying to keep Lucas Ho honest here as they work their way through that flat out turn 3, but the leader really is starting to take on a decent gap on this race. Ho On Yao really looking very strong.
比赛进入到第2圈，我们看到原本处在领跑位置的李柏林是在第2圈开始的时候，在1号弯受到了身后何安佑的非常强有力的进攻。何安佑是在1号弯的地方就完成了对于李柏林的超越，现在呢是上升到了全场领先的位置。那么我们比赛呢一共是会进行5圈，在这一圈结束之后，我们将会进入到第3圈。目前我们看到的是何安佑是排在全场领先的位置，而6号车手 李柏林目前呢是处在第2位，何安佑上一圈是做到58.259的一个全场最快单圈，目前排在第3位的是84号车手刘子生，而在第4位的则是何安琪，是驾驶22号赛车。
So as the leaders go on to lap number 3 out of the 5-lap sprint, looking good for Ho On Ki to try and close up on Milton Lau. But as they work their way forward, it's not going to be particularly easy to see how this one will conclude. We've seen drivers in the lead of the Sands Cup in the past all come away, but so far so good for Ho On Yao. 2nd place for Lei Pak Lam, doing a good job as they climb up the crest through 5 and 6, and up the run to the hairpin, into 8, into 9, and now they will come out of the final turn and get the power down. This is perfect work so far from Ho On Yao, who really looks very calm and comfortable as he crosses the line. 2 laps to go here for Ho On Yao, and this is a really good work. Good job so far, nice and smooth and consistent. Just take it nice and easy through these last couple of laps, and that 3-second gap should be enough to secure the victory. Looks over his shoulder, plenty of time, just keep it calm.
我们金沙杯的赛事现在已经是进入到了第4圈，我们看到11号选手何安佑在上一圈取得比赛的领先之后呢，现在是进一步带开了和后方其他选手的一个距离，而这边我们看到后方应该是22号选手何安琪应该是受到了后方应该是88号选手谭俊宏的一个进攻，但是现在看到2位车手呢依然是守在自己的名次当中，但是目前处于领先位置的11号选手何安佑现在已经建立起了超过3秒钟的一个领先优势。
We're definitely going to get an entertaining conclusion to this one. Out in front, no change at all for Ho On Yao going into the final lap, working his way forward. But there's a nice little battle brewing here for P4. Ho On Ki has been overtaken here by Tam Chun Wang. So Tam Chun Wang has got through into 4th place. But it's Ho On Yao from Leipak Lam and Milton Lau going into this last lap. Here is the duel for 4th between Tam and Ho. Then it is Dallas Ho in P6 ahead of Chang Chenlong and Clary Low.
比赛进入到最后一圈，我们看到谭俊宏在上一圈的末尾是完成了对于何安琪的超越，现在是上升到了全场的第4位。谭俊宏在比赛开始阶段呢也是处在领先位置，但是非常遗憾是在第一圈的过程当中是出现了意外的情况。但是目前我们可以看到11号车手何安佑现在是进一步的刷新了全场的最快单圈，并且马上将会第一个迎接方格旗的挥动。
Perfect run to the line then. It's going to be Ho On Yao who takes the checkered flag. Ho On Yao wins the Sands Cup 2025. Great race from Ho On Yao. Really delved into the gap and built up the discipline. Second place for Leipak Lam. Great race. Milton Lau should be able to come through in 3rd position. A little bit of time lost in the closing laps, but a 3rd position nonetheless for Milton Lau. Very good work. Good battle to the closing stages. Tam Chun Wang will come through for P4 in front of Ho On Ki. Nothing to choose between the two of them at the end there. And then the final 3 drivers will come through to complete the race distance. Very close together, Dallas Ho and Cheng Chenlong. It's going to be close to the line, but it will be Dallas Ho who just hangs on in there. And the final driver home will be kart number 1, Clary Low. But it's a fabulous victory out in front for Ho On Yao. Here comes Clary Low, a very important race for her to finish there. Everybody gets into the checkered flag this year. Not always the case in the Sands Cup, but it's a great first race of the afternoon session, the Sands Cup. And great to see Ho On Yao coming through to take the victory. And very well deserved indeed, ahead of Leipak Lam and Milton Lau.
11号车手何安佑在这场比赛当中的表现可以说是无可匹敌。他在超越了6号选手李柏林之后呢，是一路领跑，并且最后是拿到了这场5圈的金沙杯的最终的冠军。6号车手李柏林最终是获得第2位，84号车手刘子申是以第3位完赛。第4位完赛的是88号车手谭俊宏，何安琪是获得第5位，82号车手何颖亨是以第6位来完赛。 99号车手郑振龙是收获第7，而罗琳是驾驶1号赛车，最终是以第8位完成比赛。我们所有的8位小选手呢，都是顺利的完成了5圈的我们的金沙杯赛事的角逐。
So Lucas Ho gets the job done there. Ho On Yao, the victor, with his Lando Norris tribute racing helmet. The Sands Cup is to the IAME Asia Final what the Sitringham Cup is to the Goodwood Members Meeting and Goodwood Revival. Great race for the youngsters to get their first taste of proper motorsport, and a great result. They're going to come straight through to the podium ceremony here, and the top 3 drivers who get their first taste of racing on the karting Coloane circuit, and they'll come straight through to the top 3. The podium ceremony for the Sands Cup. Great race this year, very competitive between them all. Don't forget these drivers have really had their first proper taste of race action. 5 drivers on the podium, of course. So it's going to be Ho On Ki in 5th position, Tam Chun Wang in 4th, from Milton Lau in 3rd, Lam Leipak in 2nd, and Lucas Ho will take the victory in the 2025 Sands Cup. Great performance from them all. Good to see all 8 drivers coming through for the finish line as well, and they all deserve their place up on the rostrum. Good to see.
那么在比赛结束之后呢，我们的前5位的小选手将会去到颁奖台来进行赛后的一个颁奖仪式。那么第5位冲线的何安琪，第4位完赛的谭俊宏，第3位获得季军的84号车手刘子申，获得亚军的是6号车手李柏林，而获得这场比赛金沙杯冠军的是11号车手何安佑。
And so to the podium ceremony then for the Sands Cup 2025. After that, we will get our way into the afternoon's activities, starting with the senior group A versus C. Then we'll have the 3rd and final heats for the cadets, B versus D, and then it will be A versus C. Then the 2nd of the 2 heats for the masters category, then a short pause, and then we'll have the hat trick of races for the seniors, their 5th and final race that will take them into the super heats tomorrow. And that's when the tyres really are going to be at their worst for the senior X30 drivers. They've really got to do their best to keep them going all the way to the checkered flag. But as you can see, we're almost ready for the podium ceremony of the Sands Cup, in collaboration, of course, with the Automobile Association of Macau. And great to see all of the youngsters giving us a really exciting battle out on the course. The competitors are going to clear the holding area where the Sands Cup karts, the Tillotson T4 minis, that are really starting to grow in stature. Tillotson T4 as a product all over the world, have very much been in partnership with many of the X30 events. Good to see. Here come the drivers. On key, P5 on the rostrum. Good to see him get the job done. Fourth position for Tam Chun Wong. They had a great battle, these two, all the way to the finish line. A podium third position for Milton Lau. Great drive from him. Really worked very hard to get there. Second position for Lei Pak Lam. Very smooth run from him all the way through. But your race winner, after a fantastic drive, it's Lucas Ho on Yao, who comes through for the top step of the podium in the Sands Cup 2025. Congratulations to our competitors. And obviously our special dignitaries will come through to present the trophies to our 5 drivers after a brilliant Sands Cup 2025.
我们现在看到我们的金沙杯的颁奖仪式呢，是正在进行。我们前5位的完赛的小选手是接受奖杯。我们看到获得冠军的11号车手何安佑是拿到了这场比赛的冠军，是获得了这一个金沙杯的金杯。那么在完成颁奖之后呢，也是和我们的颁奖嘉宾一同来进行合影环节。 那么在经过了5间我们金沙杯的赛事之后呢，我们将会在今天下午继续来进行我们2025澳门国际格兰披治小型赛车大赛及2025亚米亚洲总决赛的周6下午的赛程。我们首先呢将会继续进行的是我们 Senior 成年组的第4轮的预赛，将会由 A 组和 C 组的选手共同来进行争夺。那么在完成了 Senior 成人组第4轮的预赛之后呢，我们将会转战 Cadet 儿童组进行第3轮的2场预赛。随后呢，将会去到的是 Master 大师组来进行第2轮，也就是本周末的最后1轮的预赛。随后，我们将会在今天的最后阶段进行 Senior 成年组的第5轮，也是最后1轮预赛的3场比赛的角逐。
Congratulations then to our competitors in the 2025 Sands Cup, including, of course, to Lucas Ho, who gets to take away the winner's trophy. Good race this year in the Sands Cup. Good to see the next generation of Macanese racing is in very safe hands indeed with these 8 young racers. Hopefully that'll just be the beginning of their journey, and who knows, we may even see them back here for the IAME Asia Final in the cadet categories in 2026. That's it there for the Sands Cup. We're going to focus our attention once again on the run to the IWF 2026. They announced yesterday, of course, that the competition is going to be switching from Valencia in Spain to Viterbo in Italy. And that's going to be a really exciting chance for them. Only the 2nd time that the competition has run in Italy in the last decade. So it'll be wonderful to see the IAME Warriors final switching to its new location in Viterbo. The wind is picking up, the clouds are getting a little bit thicker. We could well see some more drizzle before the end of competition. But certainly it is now time to shift the focus back in the line of the competitors in the Sands Cup. But there's a slight pause before we get back into race action.
那么在完成了我们5间的金沙杯之后呢，我们将会稍作休息，在下午的3点05分，我们将会进行的是 Senior 成年组第4轮的预赛。
分鐘後進行。Attention to all drivers, attention to all drivers. Please proceed to the start line immediately. Please proceed to the start line immediately with full gear, with full gear. 請所有車手立即前往起步點，並穿着全套比賽服。請所有車手立即前往起步點，並穿着全套比賽服。Attention to all drivers, attention to all drivers. Drivers full photo will commence in 5 minutes. Attention to all drivers, drivers full photo will commence in 5 minutes. 所有車手請注意，車手大合照將於分鐘後進行。
มีขาตั้ง
我才把它都当肉给你ยังแกว่งเลย
คือวันก่อนคืออะไรพี่เขาเรียกถ่ายไงเนี่ยไม่ใช่ผมวันก่อนมันคืออะไร
เหมือนกันวันนี้มีแฟนด้วยไงวันนี้มีแฟนด้วยไงมีจิ๋วอยู่มีแก๊งจิ๋วอยู่
ไอ้ข้างก่อนนั่นแหละมาดูเยอะเขาไม่รู้ไงกลับไปห้องก็มี
แข่งเสร็จก็กลับไปก็เตรียมตัวพรุ่งนี้เตรียมตัวซัดกันพรุ่งนี้แล้ว
มีพวกที่วอร์ม 9 โมงแล้วแข่งเย็นไงCadetจะแข่งบ่าย 3
ใช่
ไป 4
Okay, we are now waiting the other drivers to come to the start line. Still have some drivers not yet come here. 我哋仲等緊啊，仲有車手仲未到。
คนเยอะ
Remember, all the drivers please stand inside the checker line for the second row. OK，第二行嗰啲咧要企喺個格仔線裏邊啦。Please stand inside the checker line.
กดลูกมาเผื่อแล้วกันพี่วนหมดแล้วเวลาจัดการพี่วน
Attention to all drivers. Drivers with photos will commence soon. Please proceed to the start line with full gear immediately. Attention to all drivers. Drivers with photos will commence soon. Please proceed to the start line with full gear immediately. 所有車手請注意，車手大合照即將進行，請穿上全套比賽服，立即前往起步點。所有車手請注意，車手大合照即將進行，請穿上全套比賽服，立即前往起步點。Okay, now we need to wait a little bit because most of the drivers want to come here. 因為仲有啲車手未到，我哋要等多少少。We wait a little bit, okay? We need to wait all of the drivers to come here. 我哋要等到其他車手都一齊嚟，我哋先影呢張大合照啊！ Okay, please come down, please come down. The first row driver. 嗱，因為我哋第一排嗰啲車手咧，全部年紀都唔係好大個㗎咋，咁佢哋全部都係啲小朋友，所以佢哋比較活躍啲啊嚇。Eight drivers become here. 好啦，好似仲有啲車手仔咧，因為佢哋頭先可能有啲喺餐廳嗰個位置收唔到我哋嘅廣播啊嚇。Okay, the driver is still coming. We will wait you. No rush, no rush. We will wait you. Okay, all the drivers will get on your racing gear already. 係啦，係咪已經着晒你哋個比賽服咧？或者我哋個攝影師幫我睇一睇啲位先，需唔需要啲車手褪左褪右移前移後？呢邊太多人啦而家。呢邊嘅前定後先？唔係，而家呢邊後邊太多人。
อย่าบอกนะมันก็ต่อด้านข้างอีก
Here, driver here, please step back here. Is too much driver here? Maybe go there because here is people. Okay, change from driver to there. 我揾一啲車手幫我過去嗰邊，麻煩有一些車手想到哪邊，這邊太多人了。Here is too much driver. Okay, here, also. Driver, can you go get another way? 嗰邊 another way. Please go there. Yeah, because too much driver here can take the photo for you because you will up on the photo. 你會出咗去嘅 ，OK？ 好，嗱，我哋等個攝影師幫我哋睇下個位啦，啱唔啱先？嗱，因為咧，我哋今個禮拜呢一場賽事咧，參與嘅車手人數咧係 over 200嘅，超過200位車手係嚟到我哋呢個路環小型賽車場嘅。Okay, driver here. Some driver please come here and then 可唔可以行過你到呢度咧？車手係啦，揾一啲車手，因為嗰邊有啲逼，你可以企過去先。係啦。Some drivers maybe you come here. 好啦，因為呢邊仲有啲位㗎嚇，因為如果唔係張相影唔到㗎嚇。OK， 嗱，攝影師幫我再講講。咁我哋前排咧會留翻俾我哋嘅嘉賓嘅。The first row we will reserve for our VIP. OK， OK 係嘛？嗱，各位家長 all parents, please prepare your iPhone or camera. OK， 你哋嘅相機同埋你哋嘅手機準備好啦嚇。陣間我哋一開始我哋嘅合照嘅時候咧，就話聲俾你哋聽，你哋就唔好停 ，non-stop to take much photos for yourself and your。
Enjoy กันหน่อย
OK， calm down，calm down。嗱， 嗱，呢度有少少啲小朋友好開心啊。OK。Christian inside the checker line。OK，remember 要企喺個格仔拉裏邊啊嚇。OK。嗱，好啦。 而家我哋有請我哋所有嘅嘉賓上場，包括我哋體育局局長李思玲女士，同埋仲有金沙中國嘅代表。
ก็ใช่ไงวันนั้นก็บอกเขาไปทีมแล้วบอกว่าอย่าเอาเด็กเข้าตรงกลางเอาผู้ใหญ่เข้าบ้าง
OK， all the VIP please stand at the front row。所有嘅 VIP 請企前面嗰排。係啦，我哋將會有啲車手 ，we will take a photo with all the drivers。We have over 300 drivers here for the event。And we need to say one more time thank you to Sense China Limited。因為今日我哋呢個金沙中國嘅比賽係金沙中國贊助嘅 ，OK。All VIP get ready。OK。CMC, are you ready? Not ready. Okay. Still have two drivers. Hurry up. Okay. CMC up. Yeah. Driver, all driver, are you get ready? Yes. Yes. I don't want to hear the no. Please say yes. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. All right. And all. 做多個咗，最高分嘅，請影，盡量影。OK。嚟多張我呢邊。嚟多個幫手 ，OK。Look on the bridge，OK， 望住橋上面嘅線。我哋俾個讚啦。Stop up，OK，1 2 3。One more。
今啲小朋友埋少少先。
等陣，攝影師有要求啊。喂，呢邊有位。OK， come here。嚟呢度 here。OK，1，我都影得唔得 ？OK， 望住上面，埋啲影你唔到啊。OK， 預備，望住上面。OK，look on the bridge，1 2 3。得唔得？OK，thank you，我想問呢個VIP。好，今日晏晝繼續都有賽事㗎，咁我哋嘅賽事繼續會好精彩，大家繼續留意啦 ，thank you。
Good luck。係好唔受落㗎。Win。深深嘅。係咪贏咗啊你？ 類似做行我都可以。
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
Welcome to the season finale of the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2025 here in Thailand, the land of smiles. Competition from the Bira Kart circuit outside the city of Pattaya. And 12 nations across the Asian Peninsula and even from Europe participate for this round. All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026.
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
Welcome to the season finale of the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2025 here in Thailand, the land of smiles. Competition from the Bira Kart circuit outside the city of Pattaya. And 12 nations across the Asian Peninsula and even from Europe participate for this round. All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026.
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
Welcome to the season finale of the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2025 here in Thailand, the land of smiles. Competition from the Bira Kart circuit outside the city of Pattaya. And 12 nations across the Asian Peninsula and even from Europe participate for this round. All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026.
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
Welcome to the season finale of the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2025 here in Thailand, the land of smiles. Competition from the Bira Kart circuit outside the city of Pattaya. And 12 nations across the Asian Peninsula and even from Europe participate for this round. All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026.
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
能拍照吗，哥？
现在吧，就是现在拍完，但是不保真。我知道，暂时你先不看，因为还有很多人我没看。
谢谢啊
，OK， 开始吧，加油。
Welcome to the season finale of the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2025 here in Thailand, the land of smiles. Competition from the Bira Kart circuit outside the city of Pattaya. And 12 nations across the Asian Peninsula and even from Europe participate for this round. All that's left is to prepare for the Asia Final in Macau and the Asia Pacific Games next season. We'll see you in the Infinity IAME Series Asia 2026.
A new challenge, a new competition in the heartbeat of Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia. LYL International, the brand new karting coliseum, which is more than just a racetrack. It's a playground paradise, combining old school sport and leisure with modern technological adrenaline, fantastic cuisine, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's newest speed center. So in February 2026, it's your chance to conquer it. We present the IAME Asia Pacific Games, the Indy 500 of the East. One weekend, one shot to pick up a ticket to the IAME World Finals, with accommodation provided in one of the most spectacular racing resorts on the planet. Can you beat the best? Can you conquer the IAME Asian Pacific Games? It's all down to you. This is your chance to find out.
Big event there in the Champions of the Future Academy program coming to this very circuit next month. We continue on though with the IAME Asia Final 2025. The first time in the motorsport karting season that a driver can win a golden ticket to the IAME Warriors Final of 2026. The first time in the entire motorsport season. What a way to end the year. It's been a very exciting battle so far across the Cadet, Junior, Senior and Master X30 categories. Now we get to conclude with the final 7 races of the Saturday of Thunder as we get ourselves ready. And if we're not careful, we may even get a bit of thunder over Macau. It's starting to get quite dark and quite gloomy as the rain tries its best to set in on a circuit that's already fairly greasy after its resurfacing. Not a lot of surface rubber down on the road, But 1,203 meters of no-holds-barred motorsport. The drivers call this the Monza of karting. This really is a sensational place to race. I'm Jake Sanson for the English audience. Beside me, for those who speak Chinese, is Eric Liu. We've got 7 races today, 4 for senior, 2 for cadet, and 1 for the Master X30.
欢迎各位现场和屏幕前的车迷朋友们再度回到我们中国澳门的路环小型赛车场，这里是2025年澳门国际格兰披治小型赛车大赛暨2025雅米亚洲总决赛的周6的比赛现场。我是本场的中文解说陆建新，我将和我的英文搭档 Jake Sanson 一同为各位带来周6下午赛事的比赛的评述。那么我们稍后呢将会进入到的是我们 Senior 成年组第4轮预赛的最后一场比赛。那么这场比赛呢将会是由 A 组和 C 组的参赛选手来共同参与到角逐当中。这场比赛呢我们将会有6位选手参与到比赛的角逐当中。那么在头排发车的2位车手呢都是具备非常强劲的实力。从杆位出发的将会是293号车手扎克德拉蒙德。扎克德拉蒙德已经是在个人的第2轮和第3轮的预赛的比赛当中是取得了胜利。目前呢他在整个 Senior 成年组的预赛的积分榜上也是处在比较靠前的位置。而在他身旁来进行起跑的则是234号车手吉兰灿。吉兰灿呢同样也是在我们的排位赛的比赛过程当中是取得了他这个组别的第1位。那么他将会在这场比赛当中从头排的另一侧来进行起跑。在2位车手的后方，我们可以看到的是从第3位出发的287号车手林敬轩。林敬轩在过去几轮的预赛的比拼当中呢，也是在领先集团有着非常出色的表现。而在这场比赛当中，在他身旁来进行起跑的225号车手阿伦加西亚洛佩兹。阿伦加西亚洛佩兹呢是在整个周末都有着非常不错的表现，但是他在昨天所进行的第1轮预赛的过程当中呢是非常遗憾的遭遇了机械故障，导致没有办法能够完成比赛。他在第2轮和第3轮的预赛当中是卷土重来，拿下2个预赛的胜场。那么现在呢同样是在预赛的积分榜上处于比较靠前的位置。
Big battles ahead of us. Zach Drummond on the front row of the starting grid alongside the Singaporean Dylan Tan. And keep an eye on that second row of the grid as well, because we're going to see that man Martin Lin alongside Spain's Aaron Garcia. And what a chance for him. Former IAME Warriors final winner, European champion, Winter Cup champion, under the tutelage this year of the great Carlos Leon. Big opportunities for those two to continue their work moving forward. He's watching from back home in Spain, but he is absolutely cheering on his man. 281, watch out for the Australian from Bundaberg in Queensland, Kai Burke, 5th on the starting grid. He'll want to charge his way forward. And how about this lad, Prasetyo Hardia, the 24-year-old from Indonesia, still able to throw a candle to the whippersnappers. He's got himself a great chance from the 7th position of the grid. A lot of the drivers have been telling me they would actually quite like a bit of rain now. A, it would cool the tyres down. B, it would shake up the order a little bit, particularly on a circuit that's already slippery in the dry. Add a bit of rain to it now, and it would certainly mix things up, particularly when you consider that this new track surface, the more rubber that goes down, the grippier it gets. But if you add water to the rubber that's on the circuit, it's basically sheet oil.
我们在整个周末也是一直在提到我们的中国澳门路环小型赛车场呢，是在本周末的比赛开始之前呢，是进行了沥青的一个重铺工作。那么我们也是在排位赛的过程当中看到我们所有选手的圈数呢，相比于去年的比赛是有所提升的。但是这个周末非常需要关注的就是天气的变化。那么现在我们可以看到我们的比赛现场呢，整个天气情况是要比上午更加的阴沉。我们在上午呢已经是有出现一些降雨的情况了。那么如果说当降雨落到这条新铺设的路环小型赛车场的赛道表面呢，也会让整体的赛道路面变得更加的湿滑。那对于我们所有的参赛选手们来说，都是非常需要去关注的一点。
So now the competitors are ready for the 4th and final heat in these two groups. It's going to be a fascinating challenge for our A and C drivers. 12 laps of the course. And it really will be tough to know who is going to get the best of it. Zach Drummond, who was so strong earlier on, the flying Scotsman, doing a grand job up in front of the teenager from Singapore, Dylan Tan, looking for another decent result. Then Ling Jijuan, Aaron Garcia, Kai Burke, Mark Svarage, Prasetyo Hardia, Wuka Yu, Efim Dedunov, and Lu Yadu It'll be very interesting to see who can come through in the mid-pack. Certainly the Australian national champion, Jackson Susan Harlow, was mighty earlier on, came through from the 9th row up into the top 10. So a lot of overtaking moves expected from him. Keep an eye as well on Raphael Weissen. He should give himself a much better chance in the cooler conditions. He's spent a little bit of time this year in karting, a little bit of time in the F4 Southeast Asian Championship as well. So he's already on the rung of the ladder to Grand Prix racing. This is his last karting meeting for a while. So let's see what happens as they continue their charge. Out onto the circuit, rolling start once again after the formation lap.
我们的出车区已经是正式的挥动绿旗，我们看到所有的26位的参赛选手呢，都是驶上赛道，要利用这一个编队圈的机会呢，来将自己的赛车、将自己的轮胎、将自己本身来提升到一个最佳的竞技状态。那么我们 Senior 成年组呢，将会进行12圈的这个预赛的争夺。那我们刚才也是介绍到了 Zach Drummond 以及 Dylan Tam 将会从头排来起跑，在第2排出发的将会是林敬轩以及阿伦加西亚洛佩兹，凯伯克将会从第5位来出发，在他身旁的是230号选手 马克·朱阿里奇，268号选手来自印度的哈迪亚将会从第7位来起跑，在他身旁的是231号车手吴佳瑜，埃菲姆将会从第9位来起跑，在他身旁的是209号车手来自中国香港的卢有德，而且我们不能忘记的是后方的唐子轩，包括王鹤龄、密西朗都是有机会向前列来发起冲击的。我们来关注到领先的选手呢，已经是进入到了我们赛道的最后一段，我们这场 A 组、C 组的第4轮预赛马上就将开始。
There really is nothing like the magic of Macau. These are the 5 weeks of motorsport that end the season in Southeast Asia, from the Grand Prix on the gear circuit in the hills to the IAME Motor Surf World Championships in Coloane Bay a few weeks ago. Now here for the IAME Asia Finals. Are we going to get straight away to start? Yes, we do! Great start from Dylan Tan, but across comes the man in front, Zach Drummond. He chops across and gets himself through turn 1. No major problems as they get their way to the hairpin, up towards turn 2. Round the far side, Garcia has dropped back to 4th position. He comes for the switcheroo, up in the 3rd in front of Dylan Tan. Great start, he's in up to 3rd place now behind Martin Lin. Here they come back into view through 3, and Martin Lin already attacking Zach Drummond as they come through the hairpin. Is everybody going to get through without too much badinage? They all keep it clean in the 1st sector. Now they drop down the hill, up the crest, then back up the climb, through the right and through the left, up through 6 and 7. So far, some good choice manoeuvres, but so far Garcia not quite able to get through. Up in defense, but he goes for the lead! Garcia into the lead from 3rd position round turn 4. Now he's leading, battling away with Drummond. Garcia versus Drummond. It's a war between them. Banging wheels on the home straight. And Drummond almost into the side of Martin Lin. Oh my goodness. 5 of them trading paint for the same bit of tarmac. Garcia parks the bus. Drummond trying to come around the outside. Martin Lin crowded out. Dylan Tan trying to come back in. And Garcia dropping across on Martin Lin. What a crazy start.
比赛发射之后，我们看到扎克德拉蒙德虽然在第1圈守住了领先位置，但是我们现在看到的是从第3位发射的林敬轩，现在是已经突围成功。现在林敬轩是来到全场第1的位置，而后方看到阿伦加西亚洛佩兹也是已经追了上来。比赛现在进入到第2圈，整个领先集团有多台赛车有机会向领先位置来发起冲击，但是现在我们看到的是林敬轩目前是处在一个领先的位置。
That's Prasetyo Hardia who's come through into 2nd place. He's worked his way ahead of Zach Drummond. So now it's Garcia, Hardia, Drummond, Lin and Kai Burke in front of Mark Svarich. So there's some very tough battles to come. Here comes Kai Burke on the inside of Lin Zhijuan. He goes for the overtaking move, and Mark Svarich is alongside him there as well. On the grass, Martin Lin has to tuck back in behind the tie. Mark Svarich, here comes the move from Prasetyo Hardia. Slam dunks! Gets the move on the inside. Drummond goes with him. Garcia down to 3rd. The newly crowned IWF champion finds himself down in 3rd position behind Zach Drummond and Prasetyo Hardia, the former king of Senior X30. Drummond on the inside of Hardia. They are wheel to wheel. And Hardia holds his nerve. Drummond comes back for the undercut. Garcia trying to go with him as they come out the final turn. They're both back in front of Hardia. This is only heat 4, and Drummond and Garcia show a clean pair of heels to Hardia as Garcia now gets his run on Zach Drummond. Burke on the grass, manages to catch it. 3 wide, nearly in the hairpin, as Garcia now puts another big run in on Drummond. Can he give his foot in? He has to wait. Hardia gets him back on the far side.
3位车手现在在争夺全场领先的位置，扎克德拉蒙的阿伦加西亚洛佩兹以及268号车手哈迪亚，现在是在争夺领先位置。阿伦加西亚洛佩兹现在正在受到身后凯伯克的一个进攻，凯伯克看起来呢是并没有完成超越，但是这边我们看到的应该是哈迪亚和德拉蒙德之间又是发生了名次上的交换。
Hardia back in front. He gets into the lead one more time. Drummond in a second. Garcia in a third. Garcia on the undercut. Now he's going to get the move into the hairpin. Garcia back in front. Oh my goodness, how many overtakes are we going to get in this one heat? Hardia into the lead in turn one. Kai Burke is on the warpath. Now the Australian is having a fourth position. This is his chance to move forward, and that is a big charge forward there from Tang Zhixuan. He fancies a crack at the top 5. He needs to make up a couple more places to get there, but he's certainly on the button. Now the move again from Garcia. Dives in on Hardia. Lovely move as Svaric gets in on Burke, and Hardia has to defend from Zach Drummond. They're racing like it's the final tomorrow.
阿伦加西亚·洛佩兹是再度完成了对于普拉塞体育哈迪亚的超越，现在上升到全场领先的位置。而这边看到扎克·德拉蒙德也是已经完成了对于哈迪亚的超越，现在德拉蒙德是上升到了第2位。
I think there might have been an overtaking move there on double wave yellows. He's had to concede the place immediately, and he's actually cost himself 2 places. Drummond got the move on Hardia, then had to give it back. So Hardia back in a second. Svaric is up in a 3rd position. Here comes Kai Burke defending valiantly. Now on the inside, he gets his run and gets the move on Zach Drummond, who's going backwards. Back down to P5 goes the Flying Scotsman. Garcia in the lead. 2nd place for Hardia. Burke is defending. Big tax number on the inside from Martin Lin. Can't quite get through on Zach Drummond. And he's got Jackson Susan Harlow up the inside line there with Ling Jujuan, Dylan Tan, Liu Yude and Evim Dedanov.
在前3位的车手之后呢，我们看到第4位的凯伯克现在也是要来防守身后的车手，而目前处在全场领先的依然是225号车手阿伦加西亚·洛佩兹，现在哈迪亚依然是处在第2位，而马克兹瓦里奇现在是已经上升到了第3，而这边我们看到从第4位开始，这边我们看到211号选手应该是中印业的赛车是。停在了赛道外侧，那么他看起来的比赛呢已经是提前结束了。而这边我们看到凯伯克呢正在受到身后扎克德拉蒙德的一个进攻，2位车手将会来争夺全场的第4位。
Problems unfortunately for Chong Yin Yip. He's the one who's retired from the race. Big up the inside comes Zach Drummond. He bounces back in on Kai Burke, and that puts him back in the 4th position. We're only halfway through this heat, and now Garcia is being caught by Prasetyo Hardia and Mark Svaric. Drummond back in front of Burke, then Lin, Susan Harlow, Lou, me, Derenov, Dylan, Tan, and then Dominic Braden Benedict is ahead of Tang Zhixuan and Wukayu. So many big moves in the midfield still to come in this one as Martin Lin holds his line in front of Jackson Susan Harlow. The Australian trying to move his way forward. In fact, he's already done that. Jackson Susan Harlow now P6 behind his countryman Kai Burke with a lot of ground to make up. On the inside, that is Enoch Me. Enoch Me gets the run on Lin Jujuan, who drops back another position. But the greasy conditions definitely making things interesting. Garcia leads the way. Hardia 2nd. Svaric, Drummond and Kai Burke. There's a big battle for 6th position led by Jackson Susan Harlow.
杆位车手扎克德拉蒙德虽然目前是跌落到第4位，但是目前看起来他在比赛后半段速度又是再度提了起来。他在上一圈做到46.890的全场最快单圈，目前呢他是过掉了凯伯克，现在重新回到第4的位置，并且有机会向前方的马克兹瓦里奇来进行进攻。而目前阿伦加西亚·洛佩兹依然是处在领先的位置，哈迪亚目前是排在第2，兹瓦里奇是排在第3，扎克德拉蒙德在第4，凯伯克依然是处在第5。而后方看到第6位的苏斯林应该是。从第18位巴士现在是已经上升到第6位，卢有德现在是排在第7位，密西朗是排在第8。上一圈呢，他是过掉了林敬轩。
Lapping this lightning fast course in 47 seconds. Up the inside, Drummond gets the run on Svaric. That's for 3rd position. Svaric tightens up in the hope that he can get the move back in on the Scotsman. But for the moment, it's Garcia versus Hardia. The Spaniard versus the Indonesian. Nice move on the inside from Enoch Me. He's now tucking in behind Jackson Susan Harlow, having got the move on Liu Yude. So he has a chance to move up into the top 6. This second half of the week has been much stronger for Enoch Me. Now we've got 3 to go. Garcia, Hardia, Drummond, Svaric and Kai Burke. The top 5 have broken well clear of everybody else. But is there still a few more shuffles of the deck? Can Prasetyo Hardia close up on Aaron Garcia in the toe?
比赛还剩下3圈，我们看到扎克德拉蒙德在上一圈是过掉了马克兹瓦里奇，短暂的上升到了第3的位置。而在后方看到密西朗同样是过掉了卢佑德，现在是排在第7的位置。而在最前方，我们看到阿伦加西亚·洛佩兹不断的在进行提速，他在上一圈是做出了个人最快。哈迪亚目前仍然是排在第2，扎克德拉蒙德是排在第3。而后方我们看到马克兹瓦里奇在被过掉之后呢，现在是在受到身后凯伯克的一个进攻。
So now we've got just 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Hardia is doing everything he can to close up on Aaron Garcia, but the man who's in the lead is the IAME Warriors final champion, the European champion, the Winter Cup champion. He dearly wants to add the Asian title to his incredibly growing collection of trophies. He looks over his shoulder. He would dearly love to book himself a ticket for the IWF 2026 before it's even Christmas 2025. Up through the hairpin, and Sverige is really struggling to hold off Kai Burke. The Australian from Bundaberg in Queensland is really starting to hassle the number 204. Mark Sverige working hard here to get clear. Sorry, it is the 230, I should say, who is in fourth position. Sverige having to defend from Phuket in Thailand. He has worked his way back to the Asian scene. Here we go, 1 lap remains.
比赛进入到最后一圈，我们看到扎克德拉蒙德在上一圈过掉马克斯瓦里奇之后，现在是再度的做出了个人最快单圈，而上一圈阿伦加西亚洛佩兹是做到46.804，而这边我们看到凯伯克在2号弯呢是杀入到内线，完成了对马克斯瓦里奇的超越。凯伯克呢短暂可以上升到第4位，但是现在2位车手是处在并排的位置。现在看到马克斯瓦里奇在这一圈这个弯角是处在内线，接下来呢他应该还是要来防守凯伯克。凯伯克看一下在接下来的5号弯有没有机会尝试通过走线来进行超越，但是目前看到马克斯瓦里奇依然是处在第4的位置。
It's really important in these heats to pick your battles, and that's exactly what Kai Burke is having to do. But after a furious opening couple of laps, he's still going at it on Mark Sverige. He may have to wait, but Aaron Garcia is going to bag another victory ahead of Prasetyo Hardia and Zach Drummond. It will be Sverige ahead of Kai Burke after a brilliant battle between them. Then it'll be Enoch Me ahead of Luyuder, Efim Derenov, Dylan Tan and Jackson Susan Harlow. What a great race all the way to the bitter end. Aaron Garcia getting the job done, not for the first time this week.
在经过了第1轮预赛的一个挫折之后呢，我们看到225号车手阿伦加西亚洛佩兹可以说是卷土重来，在个人的第2轮、第3轮以及第4轮预赛当中是全数拿下了胜利。现在呢，他是以3连胜可以继续处在整个 Senior 成年组预赛积分榜的前列。而我们看到的是268号车手哈迪亚，最终呢是以亚军带回。扎克德拉蒙德从杆位出发，最终呢是以第3位完赛。他在最后一圈是做到46.742的全场最快。马克兹瓦里奇是在最后一圈防守住了凯伯克的进攻，最终呢是获得第4位。伯克是取得第5，密西朗是拿下第6，卢佑德排名第7，埃菲姆是获得第8，迪伦灿最终是以第9位完赛。而苏斯林在比赛前半程是一度处在前6的位置，最终呢他是以第10位完成这场比赛。
Well, that was a particularly tough race for our contenders. A lot of big race moves in the first few laps of that one, and certainly quite a lot decided on the turn of a wheel in various apexes in the opening 4 laps. A lot of big opportunities there. Prasetyo Hardia and Zach Drummond all right up in the hunt for that one, along with Kai Burke and along with Mark Sverige. But it was this man who got the job done, Aaron Garcia. IWF champion, Winter Cup champion, European Series champion. Can he add the Asian title in the Asian final to his vast trophy? That was an incredibly tough opening 4 laps, Aaron. You really had to find some skills there. Even when you took the lead on the opening lap, that wasn't it. It wasn't done. There was so much more to do.
Yeah, at the beginning we missed a bit of pace. We found a bit on the middle of the race, so yeah, really happy. We have the pace. We go on the front early, so yeah, was hard the fight in the beginning with Drama and Brad, so yeah, really happy with the race, and let's focus on the last one.
It seems that every race you do, the competition gets more and more desperate to try and get those results. You have to work a lot harder in defense.
Yeah, I need to work defense a lot because I have 1 DNF, so yeah, those 3 P1 helped me a lot for the position, so we need to keep another good point for the last heat, and let's see what happens tomorrow.
One more race to go then for you this afternoon. How confident are you for it?
Well, I think we have the pace, so we need to be confident, and yeah, let's go for it.
Good job. Say hello to Carlos for me.
Hello, Carlos.
I'm surprised he didn't say hola. Good to see you, mate. Fantastic run there from Aaron Garcia. Did a great job and another fabulous victory. It could well have been 4 out of 4. As it is, it's 3 out of 4. There's one race to go for him. Now we got ourselves back into the third and final rotation of heats for the cadets. What it's going to be like after 4 heats. Imagine what it's going to be like in the final tomorrow. It's really going to get pretty tasty amongst the competitors. The weather is starting to cool down a little bit. It's getting a little bit colder. There are jackets and windbreakers and umbrellas on offer in the merchandise tent just off past the entrance to the grandstand. I do encourage people to take advantage of them now because they will go quick. Pole position, it's the only lady in the cadet category, Ava Lawrence. What an amazing opportunity for her. From the United Arab Emirates in the Yazid colours, the Iron Dame is looking very strong. All of the lads in cadet need to catch her. There is Benjamin Stivar, the British Bosnian, doing a fantastic job on the front row of the grid. Big Ben looking for another big result. 96 in the Carlos Sainz chassis, that is Jensen Hammond. Also here from the United Arab Emirates, looking for a very tough race battle from that second row of the grid. But guess who's going to come back to town on the second row of the grid? It's Classic Max. Maximilian Schilling looking for another tough race battle from the second row of the grid. The Auto Inc driver has been very good in racecraft. Not always the luckiest driver, but certainly one of the most ruthless. 77, the Chinese ace for Peak Racing, Chan Hotswan. Big opportunity for him. Let's see what the 9-year-old talent can do. Alongside him on the grid, number 62, Carson Choi, the Hong Kong star for the Explorer factory team on that third row of the grid. Plenty of opportunities for him to move forward. And he's certainly going to be taking every opportunity he can get from this one. Just one race to go for each of the groups in cadet. It's now or never to book yourself a decent place on the grid for the Super Heat.
那么我们接下来将会进入到的是我们 Cadet 儿童组的最后一轮的预赛。首先将会进行的是 B 组和 D 组选手的争夺。那么这场比赛呢，我们将会有27位选手来参与到比赛的争夺当中。我们这边看到的是头排发车的2位选手。80号车手埃娃劳伦斯将会在这场比赛当中呢，从杆位来出发，他在排位赛当中是做到53.551的组别的最快的单圈。那么在他身旁来进行起跑的将会是97号车手本杰明斯利瓦。那么他在排位赛的过程当中呢，是取得了组别的第2位。那么他在这场比赛当中呢，也将会从第2位来进行发车。本杰明斯利瓦在昨天进行的2轮预赛当中的最好成绩呢是第3位。那么埃娃劳伦斯呢，则是在昨天的第2轮预赛当中呢取得第2的成绩。而在2位车手之后的将会是96号车手詹森哈蒙德。那么在他身旁的将会是92号车手孔林希。那么孔林希呢，也是做到53.728的一个单圈成绩。钱浩轩和蔡佑成将会从第5位和第6位来起跑，在他们身后的将会是凯利以及乔一舟2位车手呢，同样也是有机会在领先集团来进行一番缠斗的。
So Lawrence, Slivar, Hammond and Schilling, then Chan, Choi, Kelly, Zhou, Basalama and Lucichen. There's going to be big battles in this. Don't forget that these karts, while they are slower in top speed, they are shorter and narrower, which means you've got a lot more racetrack to play with in the cadets than you do in junior and senior. Even though the karts are slower top speed, there's a wider racetrack for them with these shorter wheelbases. Oh, looks like somebody's lost the chain guard. Someone has lost the chain guard on the opening lap there. It looked to me like it came off one of the Tony karts. So we've lost the chain guard on the opening lap. That is going to be a technical flag. They have to complete the race distance with all of their pieces on the kart. So we've lost the chain guard in turn 4. Now, if that gets spotted, that is going to be a technical flag. Whoever that is going to be out of the race. You've got to make sure that every single part of the kart stays on for the duration of the race. Anything that comes off, it's a technical flag, you're out of the race. So whoever has lost that is about to have a crushing defeat. It's one of the cream engine chain guards, so that's normally affixed to a Tony kart. So towards the sharp end. So I think Ava Lawrence is going to be okay. So too is the front row man alongside Ben Stavar, but we'll have to see as we go to race trim. False start, false start. We're not going racing this time. Oh, and a spin on the way to the first corner. Goodness me, that's Zhu Jiquan. Zhu Jiquan has had a problem there before we even get started with racing. That's a disaster for Zhu Jiquan. And a big issue there for the number 81, the Force Racing driver on the Kart Republic, desperately trying to get the kart started again. The fans are cheering him on, hoping that he can get back on the circuit. Listen to that. The roar from the crowd as they are delighted that he's been able to get started again. Fantastic.
朱启源的81号赛车在第一次起步的过程当中呢，是出现了一个意外的情况，是冲出了赛道，但是在我们现场车迷的欢呼声当中，他是重新回到了比赛当中。现在我们要看一下朱启源能否快速的回到整个车阵的队尾来进行第二次的重启。那么我们刚才也是在第一个编队圈的过程当中看到其中一台 Tony Kart 赛车的部件呢是有脱落，那么这个情况呢也会由我们的赛会来进行调查。那么接下来我们将会进入到的是我们第二次的这个发车的阶段，我们将会来看一下头排发车的两位车手艾娃劳伦斯和本杰明斯利瓦之间会有怎样的一个对决。
So Ava Lawrence and Benjamin Stavar will now do their best to back up the pack. We'll see if Jan Jadran will get his chance to race again. Are we going to go racing this time? Yes, we do! Off we go, and Ben Stavar almost beats Ava Lawrence to the first corner, but it's Lawrence who gets through into turn 1 without issue. Is everybody going to get through cleanly? Just about. It's very close as Ava Lawrence holds the inside line. Big opportunity from Jensen Hammond to come through into second place. He takes that. Bit of a wobble there from Ben Stavar, but he's managed to hug it into third position. Drops back even further. Problems for Stavar, as now we've got Ava Lawrence leading the race from Jensen Hammond. Max Schilling having a bit of a wheel-to-wheel run in the middle of the pack. There's all sorts of drama as the outside line has lost a fair bit of time there. So both Slivar and Schilling are having to make a recovery drive up the inside, a couple of moves in the S's, but it's certainly good work from Ava Lawrence. She leads the way at the moment from Jensen Hammond. The only lady in the race is large and in charge.
比赛开始之后，我们看到刚位发车的艾娃劳伦斯是守住了自己的领先位置，而在后方从第3位出发的詹森哈蒙德现在是已经上升到了全场第2的位置，而我们这边看到应该是哈德森凯利现在是已经过掉了詹森哈蒙德，现在是上升到了第2位。现在领先集团的争斗也是非常激烈，看到哈德森凯利现在是紧随身前的艾娃劳伦斯，现在进入到了3号弯的地方，我们看到后方应该是第5位的选手也是在进行缠斗，马上将会进入到4号弯甲。4号弯角，我们这边看到艾娃劳伦斯依然是守在领先的位置。
So it's now Lawrence from Hudson Kelly, Jensen Hammond in third, and Hudson Kelly is playing so smart behind Ava Lawrence. He's not overtaking her just yet. He doesn't need to. He needs to pull away with her, sit behind her, and work through the pack together. If they can pull clear of the rest of the field, you then don't need to go racing with her until the penultimate lap. If you can build the gap to the guys behind, they're not going to be challenged again. Hudson Kelly has definitely had his smart cookie today. Onto the run to turn 1 again, and Kelly right in behind Ava Lawrence. Third place for Hammond, 4th for Basalama. Then it is Schilling, John, Huang, Slivar, Austin Lowe and Daniel Vardanov. They come off the turn at turn 2. And again, Hudson Kelly is not going to be a silly boy here. He races right in behind Ava Lawrence. They come up through turn 3, nose to tail. Lawrence still holds the advantage. No overtake from Kelly. Smart lad. Just wait. There's no point racing her now. You've got to wait till the end. That's when you're going to make the big move.
比赛进入到第3圈，我们现在看到哈德森凯利一直是紧追着身前的埃瓦劳伦斯，但是他们都明白现在是他们个人的最后一场预赛，所以必须要确保整个情况呢是在他们的掌控当中。现在埃瓦劳伦斯依然是处在领先，哈德森凯利上一圈呢是做到了53.912的全场最快单圈，而这边我们已经看到的是哈德森凯利已经在进入到最后一弯的时候紧贴身前的埃瓦劳伦斯，他是否会在这一圈的2号弯来动手呢？
And the more that Hudson Kelly hangs behind Ava Lawrence, the bigger the gap gets to the carts in 3rd and 4th as Jensen Hammond is battling with the Indonesian, Sybil Umar Basalama. Good work so far from Basalama, looking very comfortable in P4. Long gap back to Schilling and Chan as the two leaders are just stretching further and further away. This is exactly what they need to do. Lawrence and Kelly getting away from Hammond and Basalama. Schilling is holding his nerve in P5, holding on in front of Chan. Then Huang, Low, Stivar. And then it is IAME, and then we've got Vardanov from Joey Zhou, the Kiwi, Bo Chambers and Ollie Tser. Louis Mikami having a much better race this time from Wang Xiang and Chayakon Minakaneth. And as they run through, Ava Lawrence still the leader. The only woman in the race is currently with a whole host of men behind her. Get back to the kitchen. Everyone else should get back to the cave.
比赛进入到半程阶段，我们看到在领先的2位车手之后呢，詹森哈蒙德以及巴萨拉马也同样在争夺第3的位置。这边来到2号弯，我们看到埃瓦劳伦斯依然是守在领先的位置，哈德森凯利依然是排在第2位，詹森哈蒙德是排在第3，而塞亚比尔巴萨拉马现在是上升到第4位置，他距离前方的哈蒙德也是非常的接近。我们看到进入到4号弯角的地方，4位车手呢依然是处于捉对厮杀的一个状态，而在后方我们看到目前处在第5位的是钱浩轩，钱浩轩是过掉了应该是孔林希。
The battle for P5 is really intensifying now. Schilling's got Chan, Huang, Low and Stivar all over him as the top 4 stretch away. It's anybody's guess for P5. Ava Lawrence still holds it from Hudson Kelly. Hammond is still in front of Basalama. And as they come through the hairpin at the end of the lap, they've got 3 laps to go. Lawrence and Kelly, bit of a gap. Hammond and Basalama, then a huge gap to P5 backwards. That's what battling does. It slows you down and you've got nothing to hold on to the guys in front. So Ava Lawrence just keeping it nice and tidy as she runs in the lead. I can tell you that someone tried to intimidate her earlier this weekend and said, I'm going to have you. She said, catch me if you can. Great stuff from her so far. Hudson Kelly just going with her at the moment. No need for the overtake. Just hang with her. Big move on the inside. That's Schilling getting the dive on Stivar. And with him goes IAME.
这边我们看到，在第5位的争夺同样是非常的激烈，钱浩轩、黄子彤、娄思成、本杰明斯利瓦以及孔林希都有机会来对第5名的名次来发起冲击，而他们几位车手的争斗呢，也是让他们距离前方的4位选手也是越抛越开。而目前在领先的位置上面，我们看到埃瓦劳伦斯依然是处在领先，哈德森凯利目前是排在第2位，哈蒙德是排在第3，而巴萨拉马依然是在第4。而我们这边看到，在过线之后，应该是黄子彤现在是上升到第5的位置，孔林希现在是重新回到第6，斯利瓦在第7，娄思成暂时跌落到第8的位置，而在上一圈排在第5位的钱浩轩现在是已经落到了第10。
Schilling has worked his way back into P5 beautifully here with Hung Jidong, and now Ben Stivar is going to try and get his move through. Big Ben will take his line, gets his move to the inside line, and he's there. Good move from Ben Stivar. Meanwhile, the top 4 are going to battle as everybody hustles in. So the battle for P5 is getting very ruthless indeed, but what about the top 4 on the penultimate lap? Schilling holds 5th, Stivar is 6th. Huang is in 7th place and 8th place. That is Austin Lowe. Great work. The top 4 are battling for position. This is exactly what we wanted for the race lead. P5, there's a battle. The rain is kicking in now. We're starting to get some more drops of rain on the circuit as Ava Lawrence leads Hammond. Hammond is up to 2nd. Basalama is 3rd. Kelly is 4th. And this is going to go right down to the wire. Ava Lawrence and Jensen Hammond battling away for the victory. But who's going to get the win up front? Is it going to be Lawrence, Hammond, Basalama or Kelly. Schilling and Stamara battling away for P5, but who's going to be the winner? Is Ava Lawrence leading? She is. But who's going to get close to her? Kelly gets the move on Basalama. Ava Lawrence holds it. Here comes Kelly for the inside. Lovely bit of racecraft from Hudson Kelly. Big battles for P5, but Ava Lawrence is holding this. She's doing a grand job everywhere she goes. No room at the end for anybody else. She's got the perfect racing line. Hammond can't get there, Kelly can't get there, Basalama can't get there, and after an amazing bit of racecraft, the final turn, Ava Lawrence is going to hold this. Brilliant work from Ava Lawrence, and she gets there just in the nick of time. And there's a problem in the final turn. Jensen Hammond goes off in the final corner. Schilling is going to grab P4. Jensen Hammond is out of it. What a disaster for Jensen Hammond. But Ava Lawrence hangs on from Kelly and Basalama. Lawrence is the victor, and what a shame for Jensen Hammond. He crashes on the final corner.
比赛的最后一圈是将这一场 B 组、D 组的 Cadet 儿童组的第3轮预赛是推向了最高潮，4位车手是有机会在最后一圈来争夺比赛的冠军，但是我们的比赛领跑者80号车手埃娃劳伦斯没有让自己的领先位置拱手让给后方的3位对手，他是成功的第一个冲过终点线，而我们看到的是英国选手哈蒙德是在最后一弯和对手发生了一个碰撞，这也是导致他在最后一弯 这边看到应该是和巴萨拉玛之间发生了一个碰撞，这也让哈德森凯利最终是以第2位冲过终点线，巴萨拉玛是以第3位冲线，而92号车手孔林希是能够以第4位完赛，黄子彤获得第5位，本杰明斯利瓦是以第6位冲线，龙思成取得第7，钱浩轩获得第8，钱伯斯是以第9位完赛，而在比赛的过程当中一直处于领先集团的哈蒙德是 非常遗憾的，在最后一弯是发生了碰撞的情况，并且落到了相对靠后的一个位置。
So much pressure, so much antagonism through that race. Ava Lawrence stands firm like a brick wall. Nobody getting past her in the end. What an amazing drive. We're going to have a quick word with her. The only lady in the entire competition, and she's come through for the victory. Let's have a quick word with Ava Lawrence. We'll let her take the helmet off first. Wow, that was such a difficult race to win, Ava. It couldn't have been any more difficult for you. Just what was it like in those last couple of laps when the rain started to come in?
Well, when the rain started to come home, it was like the second last lap when I was starting to defend. It was actually challenging to defend because of the rain, how if you defended, it slipped out. But I ended up holding my position.
It was so difficult to hold on to with so many opportunities to get it slip. With that win now, it took a little bit longer than you wanted, but to get one win, now you must have more confidence going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I do.
Good stuff, Ava. Well done. Great job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Only one woman in this cadet competition, and she was the best of them in that final heat. It is definitely now starting to rain a little bit harder. It's still only drizzling, but it's certainly thick drizzle now rather than a proper monsoon. These slick tyres are going to find it very difficult indeed in the remaining races. We've only got 3 senior heats to go, 1 master and 1 cadet. Let's have that cadet race right now.
那么我们稍后将会进入到的是我们儿童组的最后一场预赛，也就是第3轮预赛的较量。那么在这场比赛当中呢，将会是由 A 组和 C 组的选手来进行直接的对话。那么非常有意思的是，在我们昨天的2轮预赛当中，取得4个胜场的车手们都将在这场比赛来进行直接的对话。从头排来进行起跑的，将会是在整个排位赛当中做出儿童组最快单圈的16号车手王者，他是在第1轮的预赛当中呢是拿下了胜利，但是却是在第2轮预赛当中遭遇了一些意外的情况，没有办法完成比赛。而在他的身旁将会是32号车手杰登阿里亚。那么在第2排出发的将会是马克思兹瓦里奇，以及是在昨天的2轮预赛当中都拿下胜利的29号车手梅森邝崇宇。那么这一场比赛，我们也是可以看到现场的这个雨势呢，相对来说也是要比之前的赛程要来的更大了一些，所以这场比赛对于我们所有的想要争夺冠军的车手们来说，一定要格外的小心。
It's definitely now the greasiest, slipperiest conditions we've had over the course of this week. The rain is coming down, but it's not heavy. But they're on slick tyres because there's not enough rain to put them on wet tyres yet. You've got to have enough water on the circuit that will actually eat through the treads. And at the moment, there's just not enough standing water out there. So they're on dry tyres, worn dry tyres. So it's going to be very, very slippery out there indeed. Wang Shi, Jaden Arya, Max Farage and Mason Kwong. Then it is Hirotse from Zhu Zhizhe, Isaac Yoon and Daniel Yoon finally racing against each other. Then Ryder Tsiong, Di Horan, Rossi Yao, Darren Garney, Chen Chiru and Zhang Yicheng. Are we going to go racing straight away? We are! Great start from the pole from Wang Shi. Max Farage gets straight in there to go for the move on the inside line. A little bit of nudging as they come through. Will they all stay in the straight line? Yes, they do. Not the best of starts further back, unfortunately, but so far so good for Wang Shi with Max Farage, the superstar from Phuket in Thailand, up in second position, trying to make his move on Wang Shi in the silver machine, leading the way. He runs a bit wide through 3. That might be enough for Jaden Arya to make his bid on the inside line as they squabble their way through. So slippery in this first lap. So many drivers going wheel to wheel on the run down the hill through 5. But out in front, Wang Shi finally looking like he's going to give China their first win of the week.
这边我们看到的是在比赛开场阶段的杆位车手王者现在依然是处在领先的位置，而马克思兹瓦里奇一度是处在了第2的位置，而后方我们看到的是应该是杰登阿里亚应该是能够再度超了上来。马上比赛呢将会完成第1圈的较量，我们来看到后方的车手呢依然是在不断的来争夺场上第3的一个位置。
The slippery flags are now circuit wide as everybody now knows how difficult the conditions are going to be. All of the marshals posts now have slippery flags. Those are the yellow and red striped flags to let the drivers know that it's very slippery conditions indeed out there. So for Wang Shi in front of Isaac Yoon, it's going to be an interesting one. Max Farage still running in 3rd position, but now trying to find his way back through to the inside line. He's actually down to 4th place now at the expense of Hirotse, his teammate. Diving through on the inside, couple of other drivers trying to make the bid. That is Rossi Yao, the Explorer factory driver, up into P5, doing a grand job, Rossi Yao. Mason Kwong doing a fair position at the moment, P6. But as an earlier winner this week, he's got to go for it, and that's exactly what he does. Mason Kwong dives in on the inside line through 9, and as they come up to end the lap, 6 to go, 2 done. Mason Kwong chasing after Hirotse and Max Farage.
比赛进入到第3圈，我们现在看到王者依然是守在领先的位置，而目前排在第2的是10号车手艾萨克。艾萨克通过一个非常出色的第1圈的表现呢，现在是上到第2。但是这边我们看到应该是8号车手，应该是谢洪泽，现在是已经杀了上来。谢洪泽在昨天的这个比赛当中呢，也是取得了第2轮预赛的胜利。他在这场比赛当中一定也会向领先位置来发起一个冲击。
Oh, the spinner in the middle of the pack. That's gone very badly wrong. 3 carts going off. It's a very scary moment as 4 carts now go off the road at turn 4. Everybody getting away without big impact, but you can see how slippery it is now on that part of the course as the water is really starting to mix with the surface rubber and create an oily, slicky surface. Now the drivers are having to battle their way through. Rossi Yao running well there as he battles with Daniel Yoon and Chen Chiru, but Wang Shi still the race leader. 2nd place for the 8. Hirotse, he's worked his way forward. Then it's Farage, Kwong, Isaac and Daniel Yoon ahead of Rossi Yao and Chong Kahe. So Karsten Chong in front of Chen Chiru, Ryder Zhong, then Di Haran, Zhang Yicheng and Liban Lewis Kanan, the Malaysian. So still some big opportunities for these competitors up the inside. Mason Kwong tries to get his run there, but there's yellow flags in that corner, so he has to concede the overtake. Max Varage, I'm not sure if Mason Kwong actually made that overtake under yellow flag conditions. If he did, he's got to concede the move quickly or he'll get a penalty.
我们刚才看到，在4号弯的地方，由于赛道的湿滑的情况呢，导致也是有4位车手是滑出了赛道。这边看到应该是7号车手曾耀章的赛车呢是没有办法继续投入到比赛的过程当中了，而卷入到这个事故的还包括了32号车手杰登阿里亚以及1号车手帕特里奇。那么他们现在是重新回到了比赛的过程当中。现在比赛进入到了半程阶段，看到王者依然是处在全场的第1位，而现在看到处在第2的是 Mason 邝崇宇，他现在是完成了对于谢洪泽的超越，上升到第2的位置。谢洪泽目前是排在第3，马克思·苏瓦里西现在是处在第4位。
Zhongyao Zhang is the one who retired at turn 4. Everybody else has been able to get going again. But out in front, it is Wang Shi ahead of Mason Kwong. Then Hirotsu, Max Varage, Dan Yoon, Rossi Yao, Karsten Chong and Isaac Yoon from Chen Chiuru and Ryder Tsiong. But it's not easy to predict how this is going to go. We've got Kwong and Sir still fairly close together. Svarage there, P4, trying to stay with them. The rain is getting heavier up on the circuit. Turn 6 and 7 camera has got water drops all over it, as has turn 9. So it's going to be very slippery indeed. That's why Mason Kwong and Hirotsu have managed to find a little bit more ground to Wang Shi in the lead. They're going to get the slipstream now. On the way down to 2. It's getting tight for the victory. Here comes Max Varage, tucking in behind Hirotsu. We're going to get the move for the lead. Mason Kwong goes for the lead and gets it. Wang Shi drops back into 2nd place, but he's got the switcheroo on the undercut. They almost bang wheels. They do bang wheels. And this time Wang Shi has got the momentum. He shakes his fist at Mason Kwong and retakes the lead. Now they all squabble in. Mason Kwong goes for the undercut, drops from 2nd to 5th, back to 2nd again. Great racecraft from Mason Kwong.
Oh,
oh my word, up in the air goes Hirotsu. He is lucky that he lands on all 4 wheels. My goodness, now Wang Shi and Mason Kwong are really going at it. Kwong gets his run off the turn. Is that going to be enough to take the lead? It isn't. Oh, bang wheels. Now he's through.
这边我们看到是比赛进入到倒数第2圈。 梅森邝崇宇在上一圈是先后和王者多次发生赛车的车体的接触，这边梅森邝崇宇现在是来到了第1的位置，而王者现在依然是守在第2位，后方的马克思·苏瓦里奇也是已经跟了上来。
How is Hirotsu still circulating, having been 3 wheels in the air? He's still racing hard here, Hirotsu in P7. As up to the inside line, Mason Kwong's got the pressure of Wong, Svarage, Yao, Chong and Isaac Yoon. Here comes the move from Svarage in a 2nd place. He gets the run on Wang Shi, so that puts him in a 2nd position. Now Rossi Yao of the Explorer team fancies his chances in the top 3. Here comes Karsten Chong. Big move on the inside. He can't quite squeeze through. He has to back up and wait for his moment. He'll get another shot with Isaac Yoon on the inside of him, but Karsten Chong still there for the mix. Here we go. 1 lap left.
比赛进入到最后一圈，我们看到上一圈马克思·苏瓦里西是完成了对于王者的超越，现在马克思·苏瓦里西是来到了第2的位置，王者目前排在第3 ，Rossi Yao 现在依然是第4位。接下来进入到2号弯，我们来看一下王者有没有机会来反击，但是这边王者还是不够。这边 Rossi Yao 现在依然是在第4，而他在和埃萨克依然是在处在一个非常激烈的争夺当中。看到进入到4号弯角这边有3台赛车即将来完成并排。
Svarage is having to defend from Wang Shi is up the inside. Big lunge there as Rossi Yao is going wheel to wheel. Couple of moments in the far side as Rossi Yao holds his nerve. He's in P4. He holds on from Hirotsu and the number 10, Isaac Yoon. They go through the S's. One last time. Svarage has lost his place. Svarage has lost his place there to Wang Shi. Now he gets it back again. So Max Svarage back into 2nd place once more. Off the final turn, it's going to be Mason Kwong. The Freemason gets the victory once again. Mason Kwong in fine style. 2nd place, Wang Shi ahead of Max Varage. He's only 22 thousandths of a second ahead of him at the flag. Hirotsu comes home 4th after being 3 wheels in the air and 1 on the deck. How did he do that?
比赛的最后关头，可以说Cadet儿童组是献上了非常精彩的对决。Mason 邝崇宇是在这一场第3轮的预赛当中是再度拿下了冠军，他也是实现了预赛的3连胜。而在比赛的最后一关，我们看到王者和马克斯·瓦里西是实现了并排，并且王者最终是完成了绝杀，王者最后是获得了第2的位置。马克斯·瓦里西是以第3位完赛，获得第4位的是8号车手谢洪泽。张以胜是以第5位完赛，艾萨克是取得第6的位置，庄嘉熙最终是以第7位完赛 ，Rossi Yao 是获得第8、第9位的是陈启瑞，而徐希哲是取得了前10位的最后一个名次。
Very tough indeed all the way through. Some very big races in the midfield. Very big races up at the sharp end as well. But the DRM Paralin of Mason Kwong comes through for a very hard-fought victory indeed. We'll have to see how Mason dealt with the situation. Let's have a quick word with Mason Kwong. That was such a difficult race. Even by your standards, you had to work hard for that one.
Yeah, I really had to work hard.
So, over the course of the first couple of laps when the rain was really intense, how difficult was it to keep the car in a straight line?
For me, it was very difficult because there was sudden puddles, and at some points you don't know where, but it's very slippery. So if you get overtaken and you got pushed off wide, it could be very slippery and you can lose many positions.
Those last couple of laps when you were really dueling there with Wang Shi and Max Farage, it was very, very difficult to keep your head. How confident are you now going into the superheat?
Going into the superheat, I'm very confident, especially since I've got top 1 all the races.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing you back in action tomorrow. Good job.
Thank you.
So Mason Kwong hasn't skipped a beat all week, and that's really, really impressive considering how difficult all 3 of his heats have been. That's it for the cadets until tomorrow morning when we go into the superheats. Now, all those of you who have been waiting, you have to wait no longer. It's time to see the 3-man brawl in Master. Kip Foster, Luke Armstrong, and the Schumacher of our sport, Davide Fore. Bring it on. Still #1 in the world, still at his best. Tell me you know a better racing driver at the age of 51. I will not believe you. What an amazing race. No matter what Luke Armstrong threw at him, Davide Fore was more than ready for it. Absolutely incredible. Let's see if we can find both men. I actually want to find both men because Luke Armstrong got the win yesterday, Davide Fore getting it today. Absolute cinema, that race. Just incredible. They've actually found themselves right at the back of the queue. We're gonna go and join them in that run because they both backed off big time. Let's cut through. Let's jump our way through. Good to see everybody after an amazing race. I'm going to defy convention. I'm going to break through to the far end. These two amazing drivers. What an amazing run. Let's grab a word with both of them. First of all, I'm going to turn to Luke. Luke, you won yesterday. Fantastic race battle all the way through. Absolute cinema for you, I'm guessing.
No, it's good. I think just save it for tomorrow. There's no trophies today, so yeah, not too unhappy with that. At the end there, I think we all crossed over twice at the checkered flag because there was a bit of confusion at the start-finish line. But no, it's a good race with David and Kip. They're both very clean, so it's good. Amazing to see you all put on such a fantastic show, and I can't wait for what's coming tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's when it matters, is tomorrow afternoon, so that's what we'll work on, and I think we didn't want to use up too much equipment today, so. Superb, Luke, well done. Thank you. A win in a second, and that's exactly the same fate as the man who crossed the line inches in front of him in this one. Davide, still #1, still the best in the world. How do you do it? How do you keep finding it? You haven't raced here for 13 years, and it's like you've never left.
Yeah, I'm very enjoyed the race. Yeah, but like you said, look, it's very fast. Honestly, it's very long time I don't come here. It's very long time I don't drive the direct gear seriously. I did something, yeah, sometimes some tests, but it's not the same like to do a race. So I'm trying to do my best. Maybe I'm not perfect in this moment like I would like to be with myself. But yes, some things sometimes go together with my brain. And then, yeah, I do a good race. Luke is very fast, I know, but we are there to compete. This time I take the victory in the heats. I know tomorrow will be another story probably, so it will be a nice fight, but I'm enjoying a lot. I want to say thanks to everyone, to the team. I'm calm, so. So you now both have a win in a second. The only reason he's going to start in front of you tomorrow is because of the qualifying lap. What do we think we're going to do in the super heat? Are we going to bring the A game, or are we going to wait till the final? No, I think we need just to be, race like need to be done tomorrow morning. The main event is more important, of course. But I think we need to respect each other, like in the serious things, but after we'll be all in for everyone. So I mean, for me, for sure. We enjoyed that a lot more than you did, Davide. Thank you. It's important that everyone enjoy to watch us. That's the point. That it means we are doing a good things. Grazie mille. Grazie mille. Thank you very much, guys. Yes. Wow, absolute cinema in Master X30, and they get to do it all again tomorrow, twice, because we've got the super heat and then the final. The winner of that race gets to represent their nation in Viterbo in October next year in the IAME Warriors Final. We're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, there are 3 senior heats to come, and in these gusting winds and cooler conditions with a little bit of rain in the air, anything could happen.
角逐之后呢，我们马上将会进入到预赛的最后阶段，也就是 Senior 成年组的最后一轮预赛的角逐。好的，好的。
So now we've got just 3 races left today, and all of them come from the pinnacle of X30, the senior category. This is where drivers hone their legacies and get their way to the top of the sport. Oliver Behrman came through the world of X30. Once he'd conquered senior X30, he went straight to Formula 4, and the rest is history. Now he is one of the 22 men who will take on Formula 1 next year. You can go from X30 to the Grand Prix grid. It's genuinely doable, and all of the drivers in senior X30 know it. This matters. Not only does this victory this week give them the last championship title of 2025, it gives them the first golden tickets for the IAME Warriors Final. There is no World Championship officially for the X30 Brigade, but if there was, IWF would be that event. Everybody wants to win it. This is the Indy 500 of Southeast Asian karting for X30 drivers. Win this, and 2026 is already written in stone. A big opportunity for all the drivers in this one. So many different race winners over the course of the event. But I can tell you that not a single driver has been squeaky clean and perfection throughout. The closest to that is the 246. Danny Caronini, 3 times a winner, once a second place, winner of the IAME Warriors Final back in 2021 on his home circuit of Adria in Italy. He gets to race in home nation again next year at Viterbo if he takes the win tomorrow in the final. What a story is brewing for the Italian. But he's not the only one with a decent shot of a strong finish in this category. There are plenty of other drivers who have had plenty of successes, none the least of which is the 2 94, ever consistent Ruben Moya for the Mars Racing team, the Spaniard, definitely towards the sharp end. The 250 is also high in the rankings. Zadiev Raikal, the 15-year-old from Malaysia, still in his first year as a senior X30 competitor and already up against the greats. 269, Andy Retel, the 18-year-old from France for the DRM Paralympic squad, right up there in the top 5. Double winner from this competition so far. And don't forget the man just in behind him as well, the 232 of Danish Chen. This is his first ever event as a senior X30 driver, and he's in the top 5 overall across the continent. That is astonishing. There are still a few drivers that need to pick up some points after some wins and some near misses. Otto Pukkanen, the Finnish driver, taking the victory yesterday and then having a big disaster taken out in the first corner accident of the last race of yesterday. And of course, spare a thought for the Spanish talent, Aaron Garcia, IWF champion this year, European champion this year, Winter Cup champion last year. The only 2 titles in X30 he's never won are the Supernats in Las Vegas and this one, the Asia Final in Macau. He's one step closer to the X30 perfection on his collection. Who's going to get the title? Your guess is as good as mine.
那么在经过前面4轮预赛的争夺之后呢，我们预赛的车手积分榜呢，将会在最后1轮预赛结束之后正式的揭幕。那么我们在整个前面4轮的预赛过程当中，我们已经是见到了非常多的优秀的车手是取得了预赛的胜利，并且他们是有机会是拿到像这个今年亚米亚洲总决赛的最终的冠军来发起冲击，包括像246号的车手丹尼卡雷尼尼，他已经是在此前的4轮预赛当中3度是率先冲过终点线，并且在第3轮比赛当中呢是取得了第2的一个位置，那这也让他在目前所有的我们 Senior 成年组的车手当中呢是排在第1的位置。那么不能小觑的是294号车手鲁本莫亚洛佩兹，我们去年亚米亚洲总决赛的 Senior 成年组冠军得主，到目前为止还没有取得过1场的预赛胜利，但是目前他是凭借非常稳定的一个表现，3场比赛取得第2，1场比赛取得第3，目前呢他是能够排在整个积分榜的第2的位置，包括后方的250号车手扎里耶夫雷克尔，他是在今天进行的第3轮的预赛当中呢，是拿到了比赛的胜利，同时呢，他也是有机会在接下来的最后1轮预赛当中冲击冠军。包括269号车手安迪拉特尔，到目前为止4轮预赛当中2度夺魁，并且呢，在接下来我们所进行的第5轮的比赛当中呢，他将会从杆位来进行起跑，所以这几位车手都是有机会向预赛积分榜的首位，包括向领先集团来发起最后的冲击。
The Met Office predicts that we've got 10% chance of rain in the next hour. Somebody better tell Mother Nature, because she's got other ideas. It's certainly picking up the wind. The clouds are getting thicker. And if I know Macau's weather, when it rains, it's going to be big and it's going to be brutal. If we get rain in the middle of any of these races, the race circuit is suddenly going to feel like a well-buttered ice rink. There is nothing that these drivers can prepare for with these tyres. And don't forget that in the Senior X30 category, they go longer and further into the week with these tyres than any other category. In cadets, they race on this set 3 times. In junior, they race on this set 3 times as well. In master, they only race twice before the superheat. In senior, this is their 5th race of the week on this set of tyres. This is where geniuses can come forward. It's going to be very tough indeed to predict who's going to get the best of this. The Senior X30 category competitors are now ready to rock and roll. The 5-minute board goes up for the anti-penultimate heat of the week in Senior X30. 3 races left to decide the fate of these Senior X30 drivers. And let's not forget that in a host of sensational competitors, we have got so many variables, so many drivers to go for so few places. 73 drivers on the starting grid in Senior X30 this week, and 73 drivers are fighting for just 32 spaces on the grid of the final. It's cutthroat and it's brutal.
我们现在看到我们 Senior 成年组的最后一轮的预赛呢，马上就将开始。而我们现在看到天空当中现在是愈发的阴沉，这对于我们所有的 Senior 成年组的选手们来说呢，接下来的比赛当中，如果出现天气方面的又一次变化的话呢，这对于我们所有的选手来说都会是考验。而且不要忘记，我们所有的选手呢，在使用这套轮胎的过程当中呢，即将要开启他们的第5场预赛的角逐。那么他们的轮胎情况，在这最后一场预赛究竟会是怎样的一个情况呢？我们还是需要来等待我们的选手们即将要坐入他们的赛车，来开启最后一场预赛的较量。
Check out those tyres. They are looking very spent indeed on the front end of these karts. This is where you really earn your pedigree. How hard you work these tyres in the last heat of the week sets you up for a chance in the superheat. Drivers will not necessarily put their fresh tyres on for that superheat. They'll want to keep them back for the final tomorrow afternoon. So, intelligence, patience, discipline, control, rhythm, and calculated expediency is what gets you to the final in good stead. And the cast on this first of the 3 races reads like a who's who of Senior X30 superstardom in 2025. Andy Rattel, Kimi Chan, Yuka Bo, Otto Buchanan, Ruben Moya, Toby Gale. These are the gladiators, the Leviathans of 2025. And now they've got just 12 laps to determine how high up the grid they'll go in the superheats tomorrow. Remember, 73 drivers, only 32 spaces in the final. This is where things go from tough to brutal.
我们即将会开始的是 Senior 成年组的最后一轮的预赛，在第1场比赛当中，将会是由 D 组的选手来和 E 组的选手呢来共同进行争夺。那么刚才我们也是讲到，在这场比赛当中，从杆位出发的将会是269号车手安迪拉特尔。本周末到目前为止呢，已经是在4轮预赛当中是取得了2场的胜利，而在他身旁来进行起跑的将会是261号车手陈玉琪。那么陈玉琪呢，也是在这4轮的比赛当中出现了一些跌宕起伏的情况，在昨天进行的第2轮预赛当中，是在第1圈是卷入到了事故当中，但是他是凭借顽强的意志，最终呢是追到了第9位。那么他在4轮的预赛过后呢，现在是以一个第2名和一个第3名，依然是处在我们晋级名单的前列。那么看一下，在这场比赛当中，从第2位发车，虽然他这一侧的这个起步位置呢会相对来说的比较不利，但是要来看一下陈玉琪有没有机会在这场比赛当中再度向前来发起冲击。那么在第2排来进行起跑的将会是299号车手，来自中国香港的于家宝，在他身旁的则是259号芬兰车手奥托皮科宁。奥托皮科宁呢，同样也是在我们的前面的4轮预赛当中取得了1场比赛的胜利，但是在昨天的第2轮预赛当中，同样的也是在1号弯卷入到了事故当中，并且呢并没有能够完成昨天的第2轮比赛，所以在今天的最后一轮预赛当中，对于皮科尼而言取得一个非常好的预赛的成绩呢，将会对于他在积分榜的这个晋级的过程当中将会有非常大的帮助。在第3排，我们看到的是294号车手鲁本莫亚洛佩兹，那么他也是去年IAME亚洲总决赛 Senior 成年组的冠军得主，到整个周末目前为止还没有能够取得过预赛的胜利。这场比赛呢，他将从第5位来进行起跑，同样也是1号弯的内侧的位置，他的表现如何也是非常的值得期待的。在他身旁251号车手托比盖尔，同样也是有机会来争夺比较靠前的一个位置。不要忘记第7位出发的282号车手贝奇卡基里，在这个周末的预赛过程当中也是有闯入过前3的表现。在他身旁的238号蔡晨阳也势必要利用这最后一场预赛的机会去提升自己在预赛的一个车手积分榜的情况。现在我们在现场的解说席上也是感受到整个风力也是越来越大，而且呢也是有雨滴的降落。那么现在我们看到出车区绿旗已经挥动，我们的 Senior 成年组最后一轮的预赛第1场比赛马上就将开始。
Now it's time for the final 3 Senior X30 heats of the week before we get to the super heats. The rain is picking up, the wind is getting stronger, and so the drivers are going to find it very, very tricky indeed from this moment on. Nobody can predict how this is going to go, and it's certainly going to be tricky to calculate who will get the best of it. It's getting colder. If you want to grab a jacket or an umbrella, there might be a few left, but I doubt it. You may have missed your moment already. in the shade of Dangchin Island, the mountain ranges off to the far side. They are going to see an amazing prospect as the drivers in Senior X30 warm up the tyres and brakes as best as they can. It's not going to be easy as the temperature has plummeted here in Macau to a high of about 19 now. It was around 24 earlier today, but now it's getting a bit more like Britain than it is Macau. Onto the far side, they will rise the crest one more time on the off-camber approach to the final hairpin, and it's going to be Arnie Rattel versus Kimi Chan, Yuka Po and Otto Pukkanen, Ruben Moya, Toby Gale, Yuri Bichichka, Sa Cheng Yang, Wang Zhizheng, Wadapong Yamchan, Ethan Sito and Chang Junhao. They come off the turn into the tram lines, and we're ready to get this final heat for these two groups under starters' orders. Let's do it! On we go, and it's going to be a great charge forward from Arnie Rattel. Yuka Po, they're sliding in turn one. Can everybody make it through? Yuka Po settles into second place in front of Kimi Chan. Holds his nerves round the outside. Ruben Moya tries to fight in. Slippery flags around the course. Oh, Yuri Bichichka almost drops it on the curbs. Manages to catch it behind Otto Pukkanen. But it's really tricky stuff at the moment. Now it's going to be a wrestling match into the braking zone. Can they all make it through? Only just. Yuka Po really hustling Kimi Chan now as Rattel and Moya have got clear of Kimi Chan and Yuka Po.
比赛发生之后，我们看到刚位出发的安迪拉特依然是守在领先的位置，而在第3位的争夺也是非常的激烈。陈雨琦和于家宝，现在陈雨琦呢是稍稍的被前方的2位车手抛开，看到陈雨琦似乎要被身旁的于家宝所超越。于家宝在进入到第2圈的时候，已经上升到了第3位，而目前排在第2的是鲁本莫亚洛佩兹。看到于家宝要在2号弯来防守陈雨琦的进攻，而后方贝奇卡吉里也是要尝试在2号弯来动手。现在于家宝是排在第3，陈雨琦在第4。
Just remember that these guys will hit a top speed of about 100 kilometers an hour or so, millimeters from the ground. There's the move from Moya. He gets Rattel. Nice overtake on the inside as Bichichka takes on Kimi Chan, and so too with him goes Wang Zhizheng. That's going to open things up. But now it's Ruben Moya who leads Arnie Rattel. Yuka Po still in 3rd position on the Explorer and dropping the pack as Bichichka gets in front of Kimi Chan and Wang Zhizheng gets in front of Otto Pukkanen. It's not done yet by any means, but certainly up in front. Ruben Moya settling into the rhythm for the Mars Racing team ahead of Arnie Rattel, Yuka Po, Yuri Bichichka, and in P5 now, that is Wang Zhizheng.
我们赛前正式说了，鲁本莫亚洛佩兹作为亚米亚洲总决赛的卫冕冠军，到目前为止他还没有取得过预赛的胜利，但是他在上一圈是完成了对于安迪拉特尔的一个超越。现在鲁本莫亚洛佩兹是已经来到了全场第1的位置，这个情况对于他来说，进入到最后一场预赛是正是他需要的一个情况。而这边我们看到进入到4号弯角的地方，应该也是贝奇卡吉里和黄启正之间是在进行一个缠斗的动作。
Yuri Bichichka is ruthless with Wang Zhizheng as the two of them duel away over P4 on the way through the first sector. It's Wang Zhizheng that comes through for the lead of it. He is now in P4 chasing after Yuka Po, but we've got Otto Pukkanen battling away with Kimi Chan, who's having a nightmare at the moment. He's in trouble with Toby Gale. Toby Gale, I think, has already got ahead. Yes, he is. There he is in with Yuri Bichichka. Then Pukkanen, Chan and Wadapong Yamchan with Ethan Sito. Great to see those two having a great race of it up front. Kimi Chan still having to cover and defend as Putter goes for the move. Wadapong Yamchan making his bid for the Top 1 Motorsport team. The superstar from Bangkok and Ethan Sito just in behind him as well, trying to get his move done. On the inside, Yamchan goes for it, and he can't make it stick, so Ethan Sito takes on the move. Now he gestures to Wadapong Yamchan. Come on, let's calm down and settle into the rhythm. So the 16-year-old from Bangkok has to let his rival Ethan Sito, the 15-year-old from Kuala Lumpur, settle in behind Kimi Chan as the battle further behind them is raging too. That's one of the Formula Ks working his way forward. That's Tian Runchen battling away with Sa Cheng Yang and Louis Z, with Paco Miguel Sarmiento working his way through the field. A great run for the Filipino.
陈雨琦现在是已经落到了第8的位置，并且呢，他需要去应对身后 Ethan Sito 以及埃姆维昌的一个进攻。这边看到在场上应该是第4位的位置，也是发生了一个变化，应该是贝奇卡吉里，目前呢应该是上升了一个名次。
Good move from Wang Zhizheng. He takes on Yuka Po. So Wang Zhizheng puts himself into 3rd position ahead of the Explorer. Then it's Bichichka, Gale, Pukkanen, Chan, Sito, Yamchan, Shi, and Tian, and there's problems down at the braking zone as Kimi Chan really has to work hard here on Ethan Sito. Otto Pukkanen goes for the slam dunk on the inside line, and I think the Finn got there. Yes, he did. So Otto Buchanan coming up with another big move as he gets ahead of Tian Runchen. But now Kimi Chan trying to break away from Ethan Sito. Wadapong Yamchan is in there. So too is Louis G. But it's going to be tricky for them to continue this kind of pace. Otto Buchanan a long way clear. Then Kimi Chan. And it looks like Sito's going to have to drop back in there behind Louis G. Louis G has another look on the inside, and here comes the move from Paco Miguel Sarmiento. Sarmiento with a lovely move into turn 4. That'll put him on the tail of the hard-charging Louis G.
毫无疑问，目前排在第8位的陈玉琪，现在是在疯狂的防守后方对手的一轮进攻。现在看到卢谢是已经来到了第9的位置，而后方这边看到也是有选手是在发生名字上的交替，应该是埃姆维昌和伊森 Sato 现在是落到后方的位置了。
Sarmiento really is finding the moves here. Excellent work in this final heat. He's had a nightmare week so far. Not in this one. This is his moment to shine, and his time in the sunshine is certainly brighter than the sky right now. No worries for Moya in front of Rattel, Wong, Yu, and Bichichka. Then it's Gale, Buchanan, Chan, and then it is Sarmiento in front of Yamchan. Well, he was in front of Yamchan. Now he's been able to work it through in front of Louis G. So Louis G struggling a little bit here. Clearly the tyres are starting to howl. Tian, Sito, Kojima, Sai, Quinones, and then it is Gozai Sato in front of Zhang Jimo. Zachary Boyce and Kwok Lok Man are struggling to work their way back through, but it really is tricky stuff at the moment. But out in front, it is still Ruben Moya. But watch out, Andy Rattel needs to keep one eye over his shoulder because Wang Xisheng is catching him and the leader hand over fist. Could the Chinese driver get his victory after all?
比赛进入到半程阶段，现在鲁本莫亚洛佩兹依然是排在第1，而第2位的争夺也是开始越来越激烈。黄喜正现在是已经上升到第3位，并且距离前方的安迪拉特尔也是非常的接近。后方于家宝依然是排在第4位，托比盖尔上一圈是过掉了贝奇卡吉里，是来到第5的位置。
Ruben Moya holding his nerve, but Andy Rattel really is in trouble here. Wang Xisheng is catching big time. The 7 Rings driver looking very quick indeed, with only a few laps remaining now. 5 laps to go, 7 completed. And here comes the move. In a second comes Wang Xisheng. Lovely bit of driving there from the 7 Rings driver. The 20-year-old from China now fancies his chances to move forward. And if he goes with Andy Rattel, there could still be a Chinese Senior X30 victory yet. Great run from Wang Xisheng. He's worked his way through kart after kart after kart. Toby Gale, now the fastest man on track. He's getting after Yuka Po. And there's not really a lot that the Explorer driver can do about him right now.
黄喜正在这一圈是过掉了安迪拉特尔，现在已经上升到第2的位置，并且他已经是开始追击身前的鲁本莫亚洛佩兹。黄喜正在之前的几场比赛当中呢，都是展现出了非常好的速度，但是他的赛前也是和我们说到，那么他在比赛前几场比赛的预赛阶段呢，是出现了意外的情况，而这边我们看到应该是也是有一台赛车是发生了冲出赛道的情况，而这边看到黄喜正已经是在2号弯的地方完成了对于鲁本莫亚洛佩兹的超越。黄喜正作为中国选手，现在已经上升到第1位，而这边鲁本莫亚洛佩兹要在4号弯的地方实现反超，而安迪拉特也是顺势完成了超越黄喜正，短暂上升到领跑位置之后，现在又是落到了第3的一个位置。现在看到安迪拉特尔和前方的鲁本莫亚洛佩兹前后相连，黄喜正依然是要寻找机会去进行反超。
Wang Xisheng fights and takes the lead from Ruben Moya, but Moya gets him straight back, and it's allowed Rattel, who gets on the inside of the final turn. He can't quite wrestle his way past the Spaniard, but now we know the statement of intent from Andy Rattel. He's going to be pushing like crazy as he makes his bid for the second hairpin. Moya defending, Wang Xisheng looking for the gap on the inside line. Can he squeeze through on Andy Rattel? Rattel drifts one. Toby Gale! Where did Toby Gale come from? Now he's up to 4th place, right up in the mix of Wang Xisheng, banging wheels, and Wang Xisheng drifts. Yuka Po dives in for 3rd position, can't quite make it. Otto Buchanan comes forward. Anybody's got a chance in this one. Amazing, all 6 of them still in the hunt for the victory.
比赛进入到倒数的第2圈，我们看到领先的位置现在是形成了6位车手共同来进行争夺。鲁本莫亚洛佩兹现在依然是处在第1位，而处在第2位的是黄喜正。而我们看到安迪拉特尔刚才是一度受到了和前方赛车 争斗的一个影响。现在安迪拉特尔是在第3位，奥特皮克宁是处在第4，而于家宝也是利用机会来到第5。这边看到鲁本莫亚洛佩兹在2号弯守住内线，而这边安迪拉特尔在出弯的地方要来尝试对鲁本莫亚洛佩兹超越。安迪拉特尔现在是处在第2，而黄喜正现在是来到第1的位置。
Wang Xisheng has got the lead. Rattel's come there on the inside. Buchanan on the inside of Moya. Moya wheel to wheel with Rattel. They bang wheels. That might be enough for Wang Xisheng. I think he's going to have this. Wang Xisheng has broken clear at exactly the right moment. Now it's going to be a battle for everyone else to go for second place. Rattel will cover Moya. Moya dives in on Rattel. Buchanan's got a chance. Buchanan will get through in a second. But it's Wang Xisheng. What a run for the Chinese star. Wang Xisheng will get the victory. Oh, what a drive. The 20-year-old from China, Wang Xisheng, has been absolutely genius in the last lap. He hustled Moya as he parked the bus, and now he's made his break. Wang Xisheng takes the win from Rattel and Buchanan. Otto Buchanan in front of Gale, Moya and Yuka Bo. What a final lap. The last heat of the day for these drivers. And it's the Chinese ace, Wang Xisheng, that comes through by 8/10. What a run from the Seven Rings Maestro. Absolutely phenomenal from Wang Xisheng. That race was won. It was done. It was dusted. But Wang Xisheng had other ideas. He takes it from Rattel, Buchanan, Gale, Moya and Yuka Bo. 7th for Bachichka from Kimi Chan, Bakomigo Samiento and Wadapong Yam Chan. Absolutely extraordinary to the end. Louis G from Seto Kojima, Tian Runchin, Ethan Sito, Sachin Yang and Mika Quinones. Yang Shimo, Kwok Long Man, Zachary Boyce, Koze Sato, Chanwai San, Rui Sato, Chang Junhao and the retirement Dang Ibrahim.
非常精彩的这一轮预赛，可以看到黄喜珍在最后阶段是杀出重围。我们接下来采访一下我们这一轮这场预赛的冠军选手黄喜珍。恭喜你，黄喜珍，非常精彩的一轮缠斗，在最后关头可以说是多车来进行一个冠军的争夺，但是最终12圈的比赛你是笑到了最后，感觉是怎么样的？
首先我们车队这一轮回合，我觉得决策做对了，关于轮胎，因为这几个回合我们轮胎后胎消耗都挺大的，然后我们进行了一个对调，然后可以看得出效果很显著吧。对。
那么你在之前的比赛里面确实也遭遇到了一些不幸的状况。那么对于你来说，最后一轮预赛的这个胜利，是否会对你进入到明天超级预赛，包括到正赛，有特别大的信心的帮助呢？
当然，这对我积攒了很多积分是有好处的，但是还是有几轮的成绩不太理想。然后看明天 Super Heat 我们能做些什么吧。
恭喜你，希望你在明天也能获得更加好的成绩。谢谢。Okay, let's head back to Jake Sanson.
Well, if we are not careful, some of these qualifying heats are going to upstage the final tomorrow. There is a genuine chance of it, considering the way these drivers are pushing. As we get ourselves ready now for senior groups A versus F, the fastest group versus the slowest group. But when we're talking about fastest and slowest, we're only playing with hundredths of a second. It really is that tight as 73 drivers quest for 32 places on the starting grid. And get this for a lineup on the front row of the grid. The Flying Scotsman, Zach Drummond, up against the junior sensation from last year, Zariev Raikal. Oh no, sorry, it's Danish Chen, my apologies, who's on the front row of the starting grid in his first season of Senior X30 competition. And he's already right up there. In fact, it's not only his first season, it's his first weekend in Senior X30 competition. And the Singaporean is already right up there on the front row of the grid. For me, Danish Chen really is the dark horse in this competition. If all the others badinage and battle away with each other, he could sneak in and pinch this before they've even realised what's happened. Martin Lin, third on the grid, great potential for him. He really has been getting better and better all the time. Flying the flag for China, the 16-year-old from the Free and Nova squad. He's there in P3 of the grid. And don't count out the man alongside him on the grid, Rafael Kamal, the Indonesian, still has potential in this one, still has a great chance to make a good race come to him. And then we've got Kai Burke, Zhao Jilin, Prasetyo Hardia, the former Asian champion, alongside the very talented Macanese lady, Vernice Lau, 15 years of age, and already up in the top 10 of a Senior X30 grid. That is monstrous from Vernice Lau. She's not even the only lady in the top 10, because right behind her on the grid is the lady from Hong Kong, the 18-year-old Summer Mock. Such an immense talent, and what an opportunity for these two to go hammer and tongs. The unfortunate thing for both of them is they'll be on the even side of the grid. That means that run to the first corner is going to be so difficult on the outside line. If they get the marbles, any chance could disappear.
我们即将会进入到的是我们 Senior 成年组的第5轮预赛的第2场比赛。这轮比赛呢将会是由 A 组的选手和 F 组的选手呢来共同的进行角逐。这场比赛呢也会有26位顶尖的好手来参与到他们自己的最后一轮的预赛。那么在这场比赛当中，从头排来进行起跑的293号车手扎克德拉蒙德，毫无疑问，本周末亚米亚洲总决赛的争冠热门选手之一。他在前面的4轮预赛当中已经是拿到了3胜，并且呢他在排位赛当中呢也是做出了全场我们所有的 Senior 成年组选手的最快单圈46.682的这样一个成绩。他在这场比赛当中呢将会继续从杆位来进行起跑。在他身旁的将会是232号车手 Danish Iwan Chen。那么他也是在这场比赛当中呢从头排来进行发射，但是他是处在头排的另外一侧，所以进入到1号弯的过程当中，很有可能会被身旁一侧的处于1号弯内线这一侧的选手们受到一定的挑战。这对于他来说将会是比较的棘手。那么在第二排来进行起跑的将会是287号车手林敬轩，在他身旁的则是213号车手拉斐尔卡马尔。
I'm not sure where Zhao Jilin is, but Zhao Jilin is missing from the starting grid. That is a disaster for Zhao Jilin, the 7 Rings driver. Now, I know that the officials wanted to have a word with him after the previous race for an incident that happened between him and Liu Bowen. So I wonder if they have told him, this is not your race. You're going to sit on the sidelines, because if you are judged to have made a brutal incident with another driver, then that could be his missed race, essentially. There is another absence on the grid further back in the pack, so we need to figure out exactly who that is. I think that is Liu Qiliong, the Macanese driver who we saw have an incident earlier on, the 15-year-old from here in Macau, part of the IAME Karting Academy squad. So 2 absences, but the biggest of them is Zhao Jilin. That is going to be absolutely catastrophic for his chances of getting into this final. That may be game over, because if you miss a heat at this point, there's no coming back from that. That will slip him down the order. Of course, what it does mean is that anybody who's sitting about 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th in the rankings, they're thinking, right, this is it. Got to knuckle down and go for broke. I may not get a second chance at this.
我们这场比赛的出车趋势挥动了绿旗，我们刚才也是看到了，在第3排外侧，原本将会从第6位来出发的206号车手赵子霖的赛车呢，并没有出现在出车区的一个情况，这意味着他将没有办法来参与到这最后一场 预赛的一个角逐。但是对于领先的几位车手，不论是头排起步的扎克德拉蒙德、Danish Ivan Chen， 以及第2排出发的林敬轩，还是拉斐尔卡马尔来说，这都是他们最后的机会去冲击预赛的一个优胜的一个位置。而在第3排，凯伯克身旁是没有车手的，所以要看一下凯伯克是否有机会利用一个相对富余的这个空间的情况，在起步的时候进行一定的操作。那么我们来看到第4排268号车手哈迪亚将会从第7位来进行起跑，在他身旁的则是210号的中国澳门的本土选手刘思鸾。
Breaking news then, we wondered where Zhao Jilin was. Well, both he and Marcos Agostinho have been disqualified from the competition. Not from the heat, from the entire week. That means they will be taking no further part in the contest. Are we going racing? No, we're not. False start. False start. So, let's give a bit of an indication then. Essentially, what that means is the investigation that we had for what happened earlier on, Zhao Jilin has clearly been ruled that he was the instigator of the incident earlier on, and they have decided that he will take no further part in this competition. That is very draconian, but of course, they've got to take everything into account, and they've clearly decided it's 2 separate incidents, by the way, but Zhao Jilin and Marcos Agostinho have both been disqualified from the competition. They will take no further part in this week's activities. It's a shame for both of them, but unfortunately, in this sport, what goes around comes around. If the punishment fits the crime, you'll have to come back and try again next year.
我们这边刚刚收到消息，206号车手赵子麟以及233号车手张博贤是被取消了本周末的比赛资格。这也意味着不只是他们在这场比赛当中没有办法参加比赛，而且他们在这个周末之前所参加的排位赛以及4轮预赛的成绩都将会被取消。这对于整个争冠集团来说也会是一个非常大的一个新闻。但是现在我们即将要进行到的是我们这场预赛的第2轮发车，扎克德拉蒙德和 Danish Ivan Chen 将从头排来进行起跑。
Drummond versus Chen, Lin versus Kamal, Burke and Hajia in the mix with Lau, Devanov and Mok. Here we go. Now we're going to get a big race as we head to the first corner. Big shuffle of the deck already as Martin Lin decided he wanted to get right in there with Drummond. Big problems for Danish Chen. He's already got Rafael Kamal in front of him as they work through the hairpin. Everyone's cleanly through, but Martin Lin is already trying to take on Zach Drummond. He's there. He's on the inside and he's through. Martin Lin gets through on Zach Drummond on the way to the first hairpin, but he's deep into the hairpin. Drummond will get him straight back. That was a little bit too eager into the braking zone for Martin Lin. He held the inside line and it opened on the radius. Drummond able to get it straight back on the inside of him.
比赛起步之后，我们看到从第3位出发的林敬轩一度是完成了对于扎克德拉蒙德的超越，上升到领先的位置。但是在进入到4号弯角的地方，他是出现了走大，这也是让扎克德拉蒙德能够再度取得领先。在完成第1圈的比赛之后，我们看到扎克德拉蒙德依然是守在第1，林敬轩是排在第2，而268号车手哈迪亚现在是在第3位，拉斐尔卡马尔是在第4，而凯伯克依然是处在第5的位置。进入到2号弯，看到应该是凯伯克要来对身前的拉斐尔卡马尔来进行动手。
Textbook from Kai Burke. He really set Rafael Kamal up there, and unfortunately Kamal has lost about 5 places in that one as he drifts wide. So Dedanov, Chen, me and Vernice Lau all managed to get through. She's driving a great race. Vernice Lau already in the first couple of laps. She's got herself into a good position, and the 15-year-old from here in Macau, absolutely no fear, no holds barred. She's throwing her weight into the competition as they run through turn 8, down the drop. Turn 9, back up the crest and up to the final hairpin. And Zach Drummond has the advantage over Martin Lin. Lovely overtaking moves in the final hairpin there as Tang Jixuan finds his move on Vernice Lau. So Tang Jixuan, Enoch Mi, Rafael Kamal and Vernice Lau. Summer Mok is working her way forward as well. Sun Yibei, 12th. Then Benedict, Tao, George, Mehta, Zhang and Tan. Very exciting battles all the way, but there's still a lot to do in this one. The leading trio have got clear, but Kai Burke and Efim Dedanov are not done with their squabble yet as the battle for 6th intensifies. Danish Chen has got Enoch Mi and Tang Jixuan for company.
这边我们看到比赛在进入到第3圈的过程当中，现在前3位的车手呢已经稍稍带开了一些节奏，而这边我们看到的是6、7、8位3位选手呢也是在进行名次上的争夺，应该是唐子轩、密西朗和 Danish Ivan Chen 在进行一个缠斗。这边赛车来到了最后一弯，3台赛车依然是在非常紧密的进行一个缠斗。目前看到处在第6位的依然是 Danish Ivan Chen， 唐子轩是处在第7，密西朗是排在第8位，拉斐尔卡马尔目前是排在第9。
This battle is almost upstaging the one for the victory as tucking up the inside, Tang Zhixuan gets 2 for the price of 1. Lovely there as Danish Chen has to fall back in there ahead of Enoch Me and ahead of Rafael Kamal, but now he gets his run on the far side. Enoch Me has to watch as beautifully timed there again from Danish Chen. He holds on from Tang Zhixuan and Danish Chen gets to the front of this little badinage. From the front row down to P6, he'll be frustrated, but at least he leads the cavalry. Drummond is your leader, Lin second, Harja, Burke and Dedenov from Chen, Tang, Me, Kamal and Lau.
我们在镜头当中目前看到的第6位的一个争夺呢，已经是形成了差不多有5到6台赛车共同来争夺的一个场面。现在 Danish Chen 依然是在第6，唐子轩是在第7，而这边我们看到应该是第4位是发生了名次上的变化 ，IB5 应该是过掉了凯伯克，现在是上到了第4的位置。他现在应该是要向前3位的车手来发起进攻，而目前处在全场领先的依然是扎克德拉蒙德。
Good work from Derinov. The Kyrgyzstani's got ahead of Kai Burke, and that's for B4. Some great battles further back, and there's all sorts of shuffles in the deck in the midfield as the battle for 6th position is still raging. But Efim Derinov now in P4. The Kyrgyzstani going well here in front of Kai Burke. Then Danish Chen, Tang Zhixuan, Rafael Kamal, Enoch Me, and Sunny Bay. Sunny Bay now in front of Vernice Lau. And Summer Mock is still trying to keep herself present here with the likes of Dominic Benedict, Tao Gan and Thomas George, the Indian, all over the case. But Drummond holds on from Martin Lin in the lead. And incredibly, Martin Lin and Efim Derinov have both set the fastest lap of the race. That's down to the 1,000th of a second. I haven't seen that for years.
林金轩和埃菲姆在上一圈是做出了相同的全场最快单圈47.265。林金轩呢，现在也是要来开始追击身前的扎克德拉蒙德。现在哈迪亚呢是排在第3，埃菲姆是处在第4，凯伯克现在是处在第5的位置，而唐子轩上一圈是过掉了 Danish Chen， 现在是来到了第6的位置，而密西朗也是过掉了拉斐尔卡马尔，目前是处在第8，但是目前处在全场第1位的依然是扎克德拉蒙德。埃菲姆在这一圈呢是再度做出了全场最快47.019，那么他现在也是不断的来追击身前的哈迪亚，同时他必须要来抛开后方的凯伯克。
So let's see how things continue to progress. But Zach Drummond holds the advantage from Martin Lin. Then it is Prasetyo Hardia. Efim Dedonov going well in front of Kai Burke. He's now found a 47.0 to get the fastest lap time alone. Then it's Kai Burke. Tang Zhixuan is back in front of Danish Chen. The 6th place battle really is fairly personal now, as we've now got Melvin Shane out of the running. Not for the first time this week. Only 23 drivers in it. And sadly, the last of those is Jenny Bimene, having difficulties at the start. She's now trying to recover. But all eyes are on this top 5 as Kai Burke tries to hang close to Efim Dedonov. There's a big gap back now to Tang Zhixuan, with Danish Chen dropping in behind Enoch Me. Rafael Kamal has got in front as well, so Rafael Kamal battling with Danish Chen. And for P10, that's Sunny Bay with Dominic Benedict and Vernie Slough. Then Tao Gan, Summer Mock, Thomas George, Aaron Mechta, Zach Casagrande and Tan Chu Yang.
我们这边看到，从第6位开始的后方的车手呢是在进行捉对厮杀。这边看到应该是密西朗，应该是完成了对于唐子轩的一个超越。看一下唐子轩在受到影响之后，这边看起来是和拉斐尔卡马尔也是发生了一个接触的情况。拉斐尔卡马尔现在是上到了第7的位置，唐子轩是在短短的时间当中是跌落了2个名次。
King of the late breakers, Rafael Kamal diving in on the inside of Tang Zhixuan, as he had already lost out to Enoch Me. Enoch Me coming through, and now comes the move up the inside from Danish Chen. He gets the run there on Tang Zhixuan. Beautifully worked out. And now Sunny Bay fancies a crack at it. Well, if you lot got through, now it's my turn. And there's the proof. He gets through on the inside line. Next up, Dominic Benedict. He has to wait. So Tang Zhixuan having a nightmare run from P6. He slips all the way back to P10. And that is not where he wants to be. Make that P11 as now Dominic Benedict adds insult to injury.
唐子轩在上一圈遭遇了超越的之后呢，现在是连续跌落了5个名次，看起来他接下来又要被刘思鸾所超越。这边我们要来看到前方的集团的争夺呢，也是非常的激烈。这边应该是密西朗也要受到身后拉斐尔卡马尔的一个挑战。
Back to the front, and Lin Jingzhuan has closed right up on Zach Drummond. There's only a quarter of a second between them for the race lead now. Martin Lin has been chipping away at this, lap by lap. Drummond looks behind him to see where Prasadia is, but he knows that Martin Lin is there. Will Lin go for the bid on the inside of the hairpin? Not yet. He's got to wait one more lap at least before he goes for broke on Zach Drummond. He needs as few laps as possible to make this move come his way. Up the climb, 6, 7, up towards the braking zone for the left-hander at 8, drop back down the incline, and up through turn 9 they will come. Meanwhile, here comes the bid from Efim Derinov. He tries on Prasadia, can't make it happen, and so now off the final turn, Kai Berg's got a sniff. 2 laps to go, and it's now or never for Martin Lin. Will he get the move on Zach Drummond? This is the chance now for the Chinese driver. Will he break in? He's going to wait.
比赛进入到倒数的第2圈，我们看到领先者的争夺是越来越激烈。林敬轩已经是来到了扎克德拉蒙德的车尾，接下来看到进入到4号弯角当中，林敬轩在这一边还是选择等待，他要等待到最好的时机去发起最为关键的一次超越。扎克德拉蒙德现在依然是守在第1的位置，而在后方我们看到哈迪尔、FM 以及凯伯克已经是发生了名次上的交替，应该是凯伯克过掉了 FM 上到了第4的位置。
The Flying Scotsman versus the Grey Dragon. This is brilliant between Zach Drummond and Martin Lin. They really are at each other's throats here in the final bend. Going into the last tour. Third is not decided yet either. Harja, Burke and Derinov. Martin Lin, this is it, the last lap. You've only got one chance to go for it. Drummond holds the inside of the hairpin. Can he slingshot out of the radius? He draws level. Drummond can't fight him too hard. Martin Lin's got to commit. He backs down. He's going to wait for his chance here on Zach Drummond. Drummond defends. Martin Lin needs to slice past him. He's not close enough. Derinov is going to try and hold this 3rd position to ransom because now we've got Harja versus Burke. They're going to nudge each other through. Martin Lin still attacking Drummond. Up the hill. There's going to be a big battle further back. As we've got blue flags in front. Is that going to cause a headache for Martin Lin, who will try and duck out behind Drummond? Burke defending from Derinov. One final push, but Martin Lin's going to run out of chances. Drummond's going to get it. Martin Lin 2nd, 3rd for Harja, 4th is Burke, and 5th is Derinov.
扎克德拉蒙德是在最后一圈完成了对于林敬轩非常出色的防守。虽然林敬轩是在2号弯出弯的地方一度是和扎克德拉蒙德实现并排，但是最终扎克德拉蒙德是再度拿下了预赛的胜利。这对于他来说，本周末从第2轮开始，可以说是一场非常精彩的连胜预赛的4连胜，在最后一轮的 A 组和 F 组 Senior 成年组的预赛当中是拿到了胜利。林敬轩是获得了第2位，而在3、4、5名的争夺当中，哈迪亚是完成了对于后方凯伯克和 FM 的一个防守。哈迪亚最终是获得第3，凯伯克是以第4位冲线 ，FM 是取得第5位。 在后方集团，我们看到的是273号车手密西朗是以第6位冲过终点线 ，Danish Iwan Chen 是获得第7，拉斐尔卡马尔是以第8位完赛孙一北获得第9，而本尼迪克特是以第10位冲过终点线。
One final blast then for the ace, Zach Drummond. He had to work so hard there in the end with Martin Lin on his toes all the way to the finish line. But now we're going to quick chat with Zach Drummond after his fantastic run so far. Zach, I mean, it's been an almost perfect run in these 5 heats. You've maximised every single race. Pretty challenging towards the end there with the track being a bit cooler and Martin Lin all over you, but you managed to make it work.
Yeah, I know that slipstream's a lot around here, so I was kind of anticipating him coming, and I was just waiting for him to come, then I would play defensive, and then it worked out well in the end. 2
very difficult days for everybody, nobody quite perfect, but you were one of the closest to it. Into the superheat tomorrow, what are you focusing on that one?
I'm just focusing on staying in the lead, to be fair. I know that slipstream's a lot, and you always want to be leading the race and see what happens behind you, so that's what I'm going to focus on tomorrow.
Of all of the Senior X30 drivers, you're probably going to sleep one of the easiest tonight. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Zach Drummond in a very sensible and smart position all the way through that one. Every single lap was perfectly woven in the mix. Well, there's only one Senior X30 heat left, and then we'll have a much better idea as to who's going to have to fight tooth and nail in the superheat and who's got it fairly plain sailing. But this is Macau. Anything can still happen.
接下来我们将会进入到的是我们周六赛程的最后一场比赛，那就是 Senior 成年组的第5轮预赛的第3场比赛。这场比赛呢将会是由 B 组的选手和 C 组的选手来进行对决。那么在这场比赛当中，杆位出发的毫无疑问是本周末IAME亚洲总决赛 Senior 成年组的夺冠热门246号车手丹尼卡雷尼尼。他在排位赛当中是做到了46.700的，应该说是组别内的最快单圈。那么他在这场比赛当中呢，将会是从杆位来进行起跑。卡雷尼尼截止到目前为止已经是拿到了3场预赛的胜利。那么他绝对不会介意在最后一场预赛当中再添一胜。那么在他身旁进行起跑的将会是234号车手的迪伦灿。迪伦灿在这场比赛当中呢，将会从1号弯的外侧来进行起跑。那么目前逐渐降低的一个赛道温度的情况，抓地力的缺失，看一下是否会对他在起步阶段造成一定的影响。从第2排来进行起跑的将会是在今天第3轮预赛当中取得胜利的250号车手扎里耶夫雷克尔，而在他身旁的225号车手阿伦加夏洛佩兹，同样在这个周末的预赛过程当中已经是取得过胜利。第2排的车手同样不容小觑。
And so to the final qualifying heat of the IAME Asia Final 2025. Tomorrow is going to be a very tough day at the office for everyone. Super Heats will literally be the last chance saloon before the finals. But all of these competitors in this group will now have to do the very best they can to square off into tomorrow with an easier time than they started. But on pole position is the man who is already an IAME Warriors Final champion. 4 years ago, Danny Carinini went to his home event, the IWF, at Adria in Italy, and conquered all. He's hoping that he can get a ticket this year to go to the event next year, back in Italy again at Viterbo. For the first time, it will have run on home soil for him in 5 years. It's destiny like you wouldn't believe, written in the stars, if he can actually make it happen. But Dylan Tan, the Singaporean alongside him in the Kart Republic, has been so unlucky over the course of today. Rapid in-time qualifying, no joy at all over the course of today. And guess where he's starting? Outside front row. It couldn't really be any worse for him going into turn 1. But many men have been able to salvage something from that. But Danny Carinini is a very, very hard man to beat in Macau. So nearly the champion last year. This is his chance to get it done. Dylan Tan beside him on the front row of the grid. Gets better and better all the time, the Singaporean. This is his chance to shine, and he knows that he's running out of chances to bounce back from adversity. In third position, the 15-year-old from Kuala Lumpur, Zariev Raikal, junior champion last year, senior contender this year. But what if he ends this amazing Senior X30 season as the IAME Asia Final winner? He's still right in the hunt. And what about the man beside him? He's won everything there is to win in X30, except for the Super Nats in Las Vegas and the Asia Finals here in Macau. Aaron Garcia, coached and tutored by the great gearbox driver Carlos Leon, the 7 Rings racing driver, still with everything to prove. He was leading his opening heat yesterday when the engine failed. He's won every race since then. It's now or never for Aaron Garcia.
那么在后方我们也是看到的是240号车手赵子俊将会从第5位来进行出发。那么他在此前所进行的一场预赛当中呢，也是和他的队友陈玉琪有着非常好的一个团队配合。那么在这场比赛当中呢，他将会来独自作战。那么这场比赛他将从第5位来发射，在他身旁的将会是230号车手马克兹瓦里奇，而在第4排我们看到的是257号车手赵云清，将会从第7位来起跑。吴佳瑜将会驾驶231号赛车从第8位来起步，邵墨轩将会从第9位出发，而在他身旁的则是209号车手卢佑德。现在我们看到我们这一场预赛的编队圈也马上就是要准备打响我们今天最后一场预赛的角逐，看到所有的我们的车手们在赛道上要拼尽全力的将自己的轮胎来提升到一个最佳的工作状态，来帮助他们在接下来12圈的这场最终对决当中取得初步的一个优势。
And so the final 12 laps of the competition before we get to the super heats. It really is now or never for particularly contenders in the back of the field. This is very much make or break time. Keep an eye on the lady in P7 of the grid, Zhao Yunqing, the 17-year-old for Xingang Racing. She's got a great opportunity here on the inside line. There's also going to be big firepower from Zhao Zijun, Mark Svarich, Wu Ka-yu, Xiao Moxuan and Liu Yude up in the top 10 as well. But what can Danny Carinini do? Will he stretch away? We're about to find out. Here we go for the last time. Carinini and Raikal stretch away. A great start too for Zhao Zijun in the SJM Theodore. He comes forward. A couple of run wides, but everybody A-OK for now. Carinini from Raikal. Then it is Zhao Zijun. Where is the lady Zhao Yunqing? Well, she's there in about 5th or 6th position, having had a run wide. She's lost a little bit more ground, but there's still time to make up the ground again later. Couple of drivers drifting out wide on the far side of the course on the approach to turn 4. But everybody's still mixing it as they go wheel to wheel. Up in behind is Aaron Garcia with the top 3 trying to stretch away. So Aaron Garcia still fancies his chances in this one, as Dylan Tan is not quite able to keep his top 4 position. He's in P5 now with the hard-charging Xiao Moxuan making progress.
比赛起步之后，我们看到丹尼卡雷尼尼是一马当先，他现在在第1圈已经是建立起了0.8秒的优势。扎里耶夫雷克尔是上升到第2位，而赵子俊是来到第3。看一下进入到2号弯的地方，应该是赵子俊要来对前方的扎里耶夫雷克尔来动手，而后方第4位的车手呢，也应该是要来进行一个争夺阿伦加西亚洛佩兹。此前呢是处在第4位，迪伦·灿是在第5，而卢佑德现在已经上升到第6的位置。
Garcia gets Raikal. That's enough for 3rd position. So Garcia is just 2 karts away from the lead. Here is Zhao Zijun. He's in 2nd place now, having got ahead of Raikal as well. And as they work their way through the S's, it's all going to depend on Garcia's calm composure. But because he had the engine blow yesterday, he hasn't worked his tyres as hard as everybody else. So his tyres are fresher. So expect Garcia to make a push for P2, then a push for the lead. It's not going to be so easy for everybody else to keep up with him. Here comes Garcia through turn 1, flat on the throttle, waiting for his moment on Zhao Zijun. Don't rush it. This is only lap 3. You've got 12 laps. You've got plenty of time. If you work with Raikal, you can still make it work. Then in P5, it's Svarich, Liu, Zhao, Li, Tan, Wong, and Susan Harlow. Great work from Jackson Susan Harlow, the Australian national champion. Another great move on the inside there of Wong Hee-lin. He's now in the top 10. What a comeback from Jackson Susan Harlow.
目前看到场上是3位选手共同来争夺场上第2的位置，赵子俊现在依然是处在第2的位置，而阿伦加西亚洛佩兹在这一圈是过掉了扎里耶夫雷克尔，是上升到了第3位。雷克尔现在依然是处在第4，而这边我们看到马克佐瓦里奇现在是处在第5。目前比赛呢是已经进入到了第4圈，赵子俊上一圈是做到了47.674的全场最快单圈，卢佑德在上一圈是过掉了马克佐瓦里奇，现在是上到了第5的位置，而赵云清这边看起来也应该是要来进行一次超越。
All sorts of competitions still coming the way of these racers as they go wheel to wheel. This is going to be a tough one for Zhao Yunqing to hold on to, but she keeps her foot in. Oh, she can't quite overhaul Li Mingyi. It was close for her. She had to make a decision. Do I wait? Do I hesitate? Or do I go all in? I think, to be fair, she made the right decision because now she's able to balance it with Jackson Susan Harlow. These two can work together and force their way forward. Jackson Susan Harlow goes for it. No, you don't. Brilliant defense from Zhao Yunqing. She will not be pushed around here. Excellent work, but Danny Carinini still your leader from Zhao, Garcia, Raikal, Liu, Svarich and Zhao Yunqing.
在中游集团的缠斗当中，赵云清虽然是被李明义所超越，但是他依然是完成了对于身后苏斯林的一次防守。这边进入到2号弯角当中，看起来赵云清依然能够守住自己的位置，而李明义在完成了超越之后呢，现在是上升到第7位，他也要来抓紧时间来 追赶身前的马克佐瓦里奇，而目前我们看到场上中后段的车手也是在进行非常激烈的缠斗。
Some good battles in the midfield. Everybody trying to put themselves as high up as they can in the closing stages here of the day. But with 8 laps to go, Danny Carinini's got one man on his mind, and that is Zhao Zijun behind him by 7 tenths. But there will be another man on his mind before too long as Aaron Garcia chases him down. They've already gone through turn 1 together. Garcia has actually dropped back a little bit from Zhao Zijun. I'm not sure what's going on, but Aaron Garcia has lost a bit of the pace he had early doors. So Carinini, 7 tenths of a second clear of Zhao Zijun. Then Aaron Garcia, big battle here between Dylan Tan and Wu Ka-yu, along with Zhao Yunqing. So Dylan Tan's got ahead of Zhao Yunqing, and it looks like Wu Kaiyu is going to try and make the same overtaking move at various opportunities in the lap. So Zhao Yunqing doing her best, but at the moment it's still action stations for this man. Danny Carinini leads Zhao Zijun, and then Aaron Garcia, not as close as I thought he'd be by now. I wonder if he's taking it easy.
比赛进入到半程阶段，丹尼卡雷尼尼在上一圈是做到了47.043的全场最快单圈，并且继续是处于全场领跑的位置。赵子俊目前是排在第2的位置，阿伦加夏洛佩兹在刚才过掉扎里耶夫雷克尔之后，目前还没有能够追到前方的赵子俊。现在阿伦加夏洛佩兹依然是处在第3位，扎里耶夫雷克尔也同样是紧随其后，处于第4位。排在第5位的是卢佑德，他距离身前的扎里耶夫雷克尔和后方的马克兹瓦里奇之间都是有超过1秒钟的一个差距。兹瓦里奇现在处在第6，李明义目前排在第7。
This is not a panic for Aaron Garcia in 3rd position, even if he doesn't catch up to the leading 2. 3rd position with tyres slightly fresher than his rivals is a very valuable place to find yourself. You've got to have some decent tyres in the superheat tomorrow, especially as he has a DNF to carry. He's got to hope that in the race tomorrow, he's going to have tyres that will go the distance. And if he doesn't push these in this race too hard, he may have a better opportunity. It's 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. Now we've got this fantastic squabble further back. This is Zhu Haoran, Raphael Weissen and Wang Heling. They're battling over 15th behind Daniel Jegai. So it's definitely very close quarters between the midfielders as Jackson Susan Harlow fancies a shot on Li Mingyi. So Li Mingyi still running in P7. Then Jackson Susan Harlow, Dylan Tan right behind him. And in the top 10, it is still the fast lady from China, Zhao Yunqing.
第7位的争夺现在也是愈发的激烈，李明义现在受到了身后苏斯林的一个挑战。迪伦蔡目前同样是在这个车阵当中是处在第9位，赵云兴在此前是遭遇超越跌落了一些名次之后呢，现在他要重振旗鼓，重新追回一定的名次。现在吴佳瑜是在第11位，而卢思雨现在也是同时也是进入到了这个车阵的集团当中。
Dylan Tan manages to split the 2 as Lee and Susan Harlow almost batting wheels in their hunt for 7th place. Now Dylan Tan able to surge forward and get back into 7th place. Lee is battling hard to hold on to this, but Jackson Susan Harlow will break cover and get ahead of Dylan Tan. It looks as though Zhao Yunqing has had to wait for her chance to get back forward, but they are working very carefully together, trying not to get into the fisticuffs. Now we've got 3 laps to go. And Danny Carinini is 1.3 clear of Zhao Zijun. Aaron Garcia is being smart. He's just backing down. He's giving himself a little bit of a breather for tomorrow. 3rd will do. He doesn't have to go for 2nd place here. Zadia Braikal is good enough behind him. And Lu Yude is looking for a best finish of a top 5. This will do nicely, but Danny Carinini is looking for absolute perfection here. And the best he can hope for is 4 wins out of 5. Very good work indeed for the former champion. That'll be the same tally as Zach Drummond. He can be so happy with the way today has gone. But Danny Carinini, another new fastest lap, 46.87 for him. He comes through to complete this one. Will it be another purple sector lap? It's not quite, but it's close enough. He's still faster than anybody else out on track. Carinini has the race in the bag to lose.
比赛进入到倒数的第2圈，我们看到目前处在领跑的丹尼卡雷尼尼是在上一圈做到46.878，目前他也是和后方赵子俊之间的差距是拉开到1.463秒，而目前在第3位的争夺是非常的激烈，阿伦加西亚洛佩兹以及扎里耶夫雷克尔目前是受到了后方卢佑德的一个挑战，卢佑德在上一圈是做到46.841的全场最快单圈，这3位车手将会为第3位来进行最后的一个争夺。
I don't think Zhao Zijun has got the legs here to try and close up any on Danny Carinini. And to be fair to the SJN Theodore driver, 2nd place is a valuable place to be in the last race of the day. So into the last lap, Carinini on Zhao, then Garcia, Raikal and Liu. It'll be a decent end to the race for those 5. Raikal may get a bit of pressure though from Lu Yude. Lu Yude fancying an opportunity to go for P4, and Raikal has a lot to lose here. Don't forget he had a DNF yesterday as well, so Lu Yude is going for it, challenges, and he's through on the last lap. Brilliant from Lu Yude, but Raikal's going to get right back in there. No, you don't. The 15-year-old Malaysian determined that he's going to keep hold of it on the last lap. Good effort, but Zadia Raikal is no pushover. But out of the top of the hill comes Danny Carinini. It's going to be a clean sweep of races today. Carinini in Invincibile. Brilliant from Carinini. Zhao in second. Third is going to be Garcia in front of Raikkow, just ahead of Liu Yude. No! He's got there by a few thousandths of a second. Liu Yude has beaten Xavier Raikkow in a photo finish for P4. Svarich 6, Aston Suter-Harlin, Dylan Tan, and Zhao Yunqing. She works her way back into the top 10 ahead of Li Mingyi.
比赛的最后一圈，我们看到的是来自中国香港的车手卢佑德是在最后一圈完成了对于扎里耶夫、雷克尔的一个绝杀超越。两位车手的过线的秒数差距是0.024秒，2%秒的一个差距。但是在最前方关注到的246号丹尼卡雷尼尼是再度取得比赛的胜利，在5场的预赛当中，他是拿到了4场比赛的冠军，非常优异的一个表现。在第二位来完赛的是240号车手赵子俊，也是非常不错的一个表现。第3位冲线的是225号车手阿伦加西亚洛佩兹，卢佑德是领先于扎里耶夫雷克尔，以第4位完赛，雷克尔呢是以第5位完赛，马克斯瓦里希是获得第6位，苏斯林是取得第7位，迪伦灿获得第8，而赵云清是取得第9位，李明义是取得了前10位的最后一席。
It's the finishes that Danny Carinini could have hoped for. It's been an absolute clean sweep of a Saturday for the Italian, and he's looking so good to get himself a ticket for the IWF 2026 in Viterbo. A good effort from Zhao Zhijun though, second place, very smooth race at the end there for the Chinese ace from SJM Theodore Bremer. But Danny Carinini just invincible at the moment. We'll get the final word of the day with Danny Carinini. Danny, 4 years ago, you won the IWF in Adria. Next year, it'll be returning to Viterbo. You may even get your ticket before Christmas at this rate.
For sure, if I can win, it's a good gift for the winter. Next year will be at our house, the World Final. I'm really happy when I saw this. But now I think about tomorrow. That will be for sure not an easy day.
You managed to get all 3 races here today, but there's so much more work to do tomorrow. The superheat is going to be very difficult with the set of tyres you've got to keep them alive. A fresh set for the final, but it could be very tricky in the superheat tomorrow morning.
Yes, for sure will not be easy because the tires is dead for everyone. But I think I managed really well during the second heat yesterday and today. I think I will make a really good job. We will see tomorrow. I think at some point I can lose to start first into the final, and we will see.
Everyone back home in Italy is rooting for you. You're doing a great job so far. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Grazie to Danny Carinini. Well, it's been a very difficult day at the office for the Senior X30 drivers. We know the contenders. We know who's to beat. Certainly the likes of Zach Drummond and Danny Carinini are going to be fierce all the way. The likes of Jake Istecki in Junior. Is he vanquishable tomorrow in the finals? Well, it could be a very interesting one in the cadets as well. Ava Lawrence, Max Schilling, Mason Kwong. So many big talents to watch out for. And, of course, the duel of the ages in Master X30 between Luke Armstrong and Davide Foray, the Saucer and his apprentice. So much to tune in for tomorrow. Make sure you cancel whatever your plan was for tomorrow. You want to be right in front of the box for the Asia Final of IAME X30. From Jake Sanson down here in the pits and from Eric Liu up in the grandstands, we'll see you bright and early for the big showdown tomorrow. The first golden tickets will be on offer. We'll do it tomorrow. Bye for now.
在经过3个比赛日的角逐之后，我们2025澳门国际格兰披治小型赛车大赛及2025亚米亚洲总决赛将会在周日迎来最终的巅峰对决。我们的4大组别呢将会进行超级预赛和正赛的角逐，届时也是欢迎各位车迷朋友们一同来锁定我们的比赛直播，关注到我们今年2025亚米亚洲总决赛的最终对决。那么我是今天。